drunk in Mexico when you said that, and I just was like, I'm gonna not fucking respond right now.
I don't think I even responded to anything. I was drunk myself.
I said some shit, and I was just like, let me shut the fuck up because I'm drunk. And we were sitting at dinner.
Oh my god. Yeah, we would have made sure I didn't do another episode, huh?
Well, no, I meant like I was like gonna start talking shit. like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Your problem, man.
Well,
you ready?
We're rolling. So let's go.
We're live already?
Yeah, we're up. Let's go.
Okay, good. All right, cool.
We're here, guys. We're back.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It's been a few months. We always say that, and it for me, it's felt like at least 3 months. It's probably gonna be like 1.
Yeah. No, it's got to be longer than that.
Maybe 2. Josh can fact check that in a minute.
Definitely, it's definitely long because, well, I gotta say the last one, I didn't think I was gonna recover from the last one. I don't know what. And you know what? And I realized what it was is when I went back, we had 7 different types.
Yeah, and then we went back a couple times.
And then there was the one. Yeah. There was the one that somebody like made in their bathtub with like jalapeno or habanero or something, which I really like the flavor of. But all those that United Nations of.
Yeah,
I don't even know if you know what happened after we left.
I heard,
dude. Dude, I was like, I told my wife we're on the way home. I'm like, first of all, how do people think they can drive like this? Second of all,
when was it? No, that's not the last one. That's not the last one. No, that's not the last one.
Yeah, there was one right after. There was
one after that
one. Yeah, that one right there.
2 months.
2 months
2 months.
ago.
Been 2 months.
Ago, yeah,
it feels like 3, but okay.
Yeah, it feels like 2
makes
months ago. But I was like, I came home and I even texted DJ. I'm like, bro, I am so sorry. I've never been like that.
Oh, he was so embarrassed. I was like, dude, I do not care.
But the craziest part is if you go, this is a fun thing. If you go watch the first minute of our episodes and then fast forward to the last minute of our episodes, all our faces are red. We're all like loose. It's like, oh my God. It's like boiling the frog. You don't really notice, but when you go, well, first minute, last minute, it's a lot of fun. So I got to make sure I don't do that anymore because that was pretty wild.
Well, we'll just start and so we have, what do we have, 5 today?
Yeah.
So we'll just start. What did you bring?
Okay, so I brought the Herradura, which I've had.
We had?
No, we haven't had
one of these.
We haven't had.
I think
Herradura.
I've just had one.
And there's a couple different ones that they make. I've never had the reposado. I've had the silver, which was really good, and I've always enjoyed it. Like when I went to dinner in Minnesota with my buddy, we had some Herradura, and it's just I always wanted to try the reposado, and they make a lot of different brands also. They're like Cuervo. They just make like 9, 10 other different things. So, but that's what I brought.
And then Jose.
That is the Don Fulano. I don't know much about it. Again, it's just another additive-free tequila.
I mean, family owned, 5 generations. I mean, good stuff. I like how the additive-free tequilas are all going like the minimalistic label look. You know what I mean? Well, I'll talk about the 2. So shout out to Cuban. We got the La Gramas, and this is the Plata tequila with the El Sabano, and then the Paladar, I believe.
Yeah.
Is how you pronounce
I remember us having. We're talking about this. I remember us
Yeah.
having a bottle of something similar to that had that
right.
gravel.
It
on the
wasn't
bottom.
this brand, but I do remember that too.
Yeah.
And we're the worst. We're not professional with this, by the way, guys. So anyone listening, you should know by now if you keep up with us that we should have a list of everything we tried. We do not.
We actually do. I just never bring it.
Right.
And
well,
honestly,
Ben does.
Honestly,
Ben is the admin.
and even if we had the list, we would be like, I think. I mean, I don't really remember.
Well, these 2 come from Cuban, but the funniest thing is, so I just got back from Mexico, but I tell everyone I feel like I went to.
What the hell was that?
So
Did you know he was going to Mexico?
I didn't tell anyone. So like last minute, me and my wife booked it because we've been talking about going out of country forever. We've had our passport since 2020, and we haven't. And we just make up excuse like, well, we're busy right now. We don't really have the extra money. And she was just like, fuck it. And we just booked it one night. I was like, great.
Nice.
So we went to Riviera de Maya, so which is right an hour south of Cancun, right 30 minutes north of Tulum, which once I was there and looked at the map, I realized that I didn't feel like I was really in Mexico. I felt like I was in the Caribbean because like we're right there at the Yucatan, whatever it's called, and you have the Caribbean Ocean there.
Yeah.
We're not on the Gulf of America or Gulf of Mexico side. But it's funny because I didn't realize that till we started doing an excursion, and you go out there and there's like iguanas everywhere, and it's jungle. It's not desert, right? Yeah. So like, I don't feel like I experienced like real like Jalisco, Mexico City, like like.
You mean like Narcos?
Like I just don't feel like I experienced real Mexico. I feel like I was just vacationing in the jungle, pretty much. So like I definitely want to go back and get closer to North Mexico. But we did at all these all-inclusive resorts. They try to sell you a bunch of shit. Yeah, they try to sell you a package. You can sign up for these things to get these rates, whatever. And this dude, we had him played where he thought we were going to sign up for this. It's like a $36,000 30-year. It's crazy. Like which we were on the low end. There's like one that was like 1.5 million.
Damn.
So yeah, and all the while we're sitting there, we talked to him and entertained it. It's not a timeshare. It's more like here's a list of resorts you can go to, X amount, and you get so many free every year. Yeah. And so it's a little different than a timeshare.
Like a Disney vacation club.
Kind of. Yeah. So I see the value in it if you're like a retired individual when you know I can go. Right. But with my life, I don't know where the fuck where I can go. You know, like if we want to book it, we just book it then. We're not waiting on points or, qualifying, whatever. Anyway, so I think we had him tricked into thinking we were going to go. We did like the bullshit little 90-minute spiel, and there's people signing stuff left and right, and they're like doing they're playing music, and they're giving people liquor, and they're taking shots. I'm like, dude, these people are making hundreds of thousands of dollars sitting here. Yeah. I was like, this is how these places run. They don't run on people going there. They run on selling these. Anyways, he was trying to give us a bottle of champagne. I was like, no. And then he brought us some tequila, and that's what he had. So I was like, it's cool. It's down Julio, but I'm in Mexico. I assumed I was going to get something cool. And this dude's name was Salvador. He was cool. He's a Mexican dude, but he wasn't that well versed on tequila. And I started talking to him about like Fortaleza and some other stuff. And he's like, I don't know, man, but we got this down Julio. It's very good. It's Cristalino. I was like, yeah, I know all about this shit. So that's where this is from. So we definitely got to enjoy this.
We're gonna try that one.
Just for the merit of it. But
so when you came back to customs and everything.
This
work?
What's funny. This what's funny. So they don't fuck with you because that goes through a check bag.
Oh, okay.
But if you're doing a carry-on, you wait and buy you can buy your liquor right before, like you clear customs, and then there's liquor fucking everywhere.
Oh, I
see. Then you buy that, and because they want to make money off of you.
Right.
So they would rather you clear customs with nothing and then buy liquor in those huge gift shop areas.
Oh, okay. Like a duty-free place type of thing? Is it like a duty-free kind of a thing?
Yeah. It's like the Cancun airport, dude. It's just like there's restaurants everywhere, and there's fucking like tequila everywhere, and it's way overpriced. Like this bottle, I think at the airport, I saw it when we came through. I was like, I had the bottle in the check. It was in the check bag already in the in the luggage. But I was like, I think they had it listed for like $109 or some shit, and you can get this bottle for like 70.
Dang.
But it's just funny but dude, I saw these people buying all this shit. I'm like, dude, y'all are paying way too much for this stuff.
But here's the deal: had you not done this program for as long as you did,
I would never.
You'd have been like, oh, that's a deal.
Everybody I was talking to, like my in-laws, my father-in-law, he's like, bring me some tequila back. I was like, dude, I'll get you better fucking tequila stateside, bro. Like, I'm not falling for that shit.
Now I do want to do like one of those tequila tours where they do
that shit looks legit,
right? Yeah, I'd like to do that too. But where I was at, that wasn't an option. Like we were down there, they were like, they had a mixology class, and we were going to do it, and then we missed it, and then it's like whatever. But there wasn't. I will tell you that they had very high-end alcohol across the board. The mixers, everything was fresh. We drank every single day. Never had a hangover, and I ate like ceviche and what's the other dish that's similar to ceviche?
Like the aguachiles.
Aguachiles. I had aguachiles every day for lunch. Yeah. With sea bass.
Oh, nice.
Like, dude, yeah. So like we didn't never eat. Like we never ate bad.
Right.
Like nothing like unhealthy.
Right.
But yeah, dude, it was a good time. It was a good time. I'll definitely go back, but I want to go experience the more like Jalisco area, the desert area.
Yeah, I need to do that. I think a tequila tour one day would be insane.
Dude, we need to do it. Yeah, tequila talk.
As wild
tour.
as my wife has been further into Mexico than I have. She actually went to this was a long time ago, and like I don't say a long time ago, probably in the maybe 98, 99. She's a big fan of this Puerto Rican, well, he's actually Cuban singer. His name is Cheyenne.
Yes, I know you're talking
Cheyenne,
about
right? And so her and like this fan group all went down to Mexico City. She went by herself, Okay, Sage was really young. She went by herself, and got lucky in the fact that the guy that picked her up, her taxi guy, was like, "You're here by yourself?" And then he goes, I'm gonna take care of you while you're here, you know. And so he always picked her up and took her where she needed to go. He took her to the airport. It was really, really nice. His name was Kostas, not Kostas. That was a guy in Greece. I can't remember his name, but he was a really nice guy. And I had his cell phone number, so if I ever needed to get a hold of her, I could call him and he would give her the phone. But now, there's no way in hell I'd let her go to Mexico City by herself.
Yeah.
It'd be like, no. I'm surprised even 99.
Yeah, no, Mexico City is a dangerous place, and it's also like heavily.
So is Shreveport, bro.
Yeah, it's so heavily populated. But dude, there's areas of Mexico City that like there's one area, and it's like people are like, you think you're in Beverly Hills. Yeah. Like how nice it is.
Oh yeah.
That's how it was where I was at, dude. There was like this one, like there's multiple.
Hey, quick question. Are we going to drink tequila?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, we're just sitting here talking. Like, what are we starting with?
First?
I don't care. You call
this one first.
All right. Lagrimas.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking about, I'm a big soccer fan. So the World Cup, they're doing it's Canada, U.S., and Mexico are hosting the 2026 World Cup. So I'm thinking about trying to go to Mexico, like see Mexico play in Mexico, see the U.S. play in the U.S.,
yeah.
like kind of hit all three countries. And I figured that would just be a good time to like kind of go back and explore, because probably a safer time too, because they're expecting a lot of tourists and all that kind of stuff. So,
oh, that's very green.
It's good though. Holy shit. It's good. Reminds me of another one we had recently. I don't know which one.
Yeah.
It's good.
Like that.
Well, so I did look up El Sabino. Anyways, that stands for the tree. Ooh. And then the other one was La Lama, which stands for the hills. So what is the difference is that agave difference?
It might be like the different agave fields that they have.
That's what I'm thinking. So that was the difference, but they're both plata. So,
yeah.
I did see that.
Yeah. Like a citrus, like an orange peel kind of a flavor.
No, it's very good.
Yeah, almost identical to like an orange peel flavor.
I feel like we've had one very similar taste to this though.
I get that now.
Here it goes.
Yeah.
El Sabano is located near Toluchilin, home of the. I can't read none of this shit, dude. Y'all gonna have to read this. I wasn't in Mexico long enough. You got to read all this shit.
Well, you know what? We got a guy who could probably pull it up on the computer and would tell us exactly.
It's Tehuictlan, home of the Guachimontones, the iconic circular pyramids featured in our logo. This ranch, presenting exceeding high quality agave, El Sabino Plata, showcases aromas of fresh mint, lemon tea, eucalyptus, and citrus.
I can taste the eucalyptus on the front end, and then the citrus on the back end. Yes, but it's good. It's pleasant. It's not sweet at all.
No, it's good. It's really good.
It's got a nice little ting to it.
But what I was telling my wife when we were driving, or we were riding in the transportation, the taxi and stuff, it reminded me of like South Texas ranches. Like every 10,000 acres, there's another entrance to a resort, and then there's high fence everywhere.
Yeah.
And then there's another entrance to a resort, and that's on this side of the road near the coast. The other side is just crazy shit everywhere. Like there's shit, like it's either destruction or they're building something or tearing something down.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. And then at the same time, we went into the like deep into Tulum, into the jungle, and like these people are living off of rainwater. It's insane. Like it looked like I realized. When we pull the map up, we're closer to Cuba than we're Dallas at that time. But like, it looked like pictures of like when you're in Cuba. There's like broke down Volkswagens and their little town squares, and all their houses are made of clay and brick. And I was like, dude, holy shit! I was like, we need to bring the kids here so they can see this shit. So they realize that they haven't made. But it was very. It was very eye-opening.
That's what my dad did. That's why he sent us to Mexico every summer. He's like, y'all motherfuckers need to see how the rest of the world lives.
Yeah, I mean, you have everyone waiting on public transportation, and then the people that are driving things are driving. There's no half-ton pickup truck. Where I'm at, there's no half-ton pickup truck. It's all like little bullshit half-a-truck things. They're not even nothing made in America. Like a little Dodge thing that looks like a van with a bed on it and like little tiny ass
cars. Doors are wired together, and there's no windshield.
And everyone's driving fucking little bullshit motorcycles. Not Harley. It's like little bullshit motorcycles.
Yeah.
And then you have hundreds of people standing out here waiting on public transportation, and they all have hard hats and orange vests on. They're building shit for us to come down there. And I'm like, a side of me is like, and so you guys are, you're Hispanic. Man, I'm white. I'm like, dude, I feel fucking bad because I'm white privileged down here. And all these people were like, I'm down here and they're catering to me. But at the same time, it's like, that's what they make their living off of. But I was, me and my wife, and she's way worse than me. I was very kind of hesitant. Like, I was just like, dude, this doesn't feel right to me.
Well, you know what's worse than white guilt? Brown guilt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
brown guilt is bad. Because I've been in places, and I mean, there's mojados, and I'm, I see them work on the street, and here I pull up in my black SUV, and these guys are, just doing road work and stuff like that, and I'm like, hey, what's up? How's it going? But I'm like, but they're all very kind, wave, everything like that. But it's also like, a lot of it is I don't say how you were raised, but if you were raised to realize that this isn't all that you can do,
right?
Then it's really thing. But a lot of times it's like, look, my dad did this, my jefe did this. This is all we really know how to do, and it's just good enough for us to make enough money to pay the rent, to buy the food, to feed the kids, to feed the family, to get up, to go back to work again the next day.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be the guy that just bullshit with everybody. I was like, I'm not going to be the pretentious ass white people walking around here. Like, that's not me, bro. I made friends with everybody.
That's good, I mean, some people are like, and you can always tell those people because they're like, they hold their bags and they don't look, they just look forward. They don't look at everything that's going on around them. I mean, even Chris Rock talks about that, like when you go to Jamaica, getting to the resort, you pass, you're like, oh my God, what is this? But once you get to the resort, you're like, okay, we're cool.
I think it's
I want to be in those places though.
It's a weird thing too, like you were just talking about, like the brown guilt sometimes is because like I'll see these people and it's like the only difference between me and them, of course I'm first generation American, right? So it's like the only difference between me and them is just like opportunities. Like it's like I'm full-blooded Mexican. Like if you think about it, like my parents are, Mexican. I would just happen to be like born here, but it's because of their sacrifices, right? Then it's like the only difference between me and those people was the opportunities that I was given as opposed to them. And it's just like, shit, it sucks sometimes. I think a lot of first generation Mexican, Hispanic kids do battle that, where it's like, you don't know where you fit in because to some of them you're not Mexican, you're
right, because
you're American, right? And then to a lot of Americans you're not. Well, you're not American.
I can only imagine about going. Like, how did you get fucked with as a kid going back?
Because they call you
saying you soft or some shit like that.
No, and I mean I had friends there, and of course like cousins there, and all that stuff. So I assimilated pretty well. But yeah, even there, you're known as the American kid. Yeah. You're not, you're not one of them. And then you come back to Houghton and you're like the Mexican kid there, and it's like, what the fuck? I just spent the whole summer. Spent the whole summer being called the American kid.
You were the only Mexican in our class. I feel like he was, dude. I felt so cool.
Like a raisin and a bowl of rice.
Yeah. I had a Mexican.
So
buddy,
it's like,
bro.
well, what the fuck am I? Like I don't know. So
dude, until then I had only seen like a handful of Mexicans. I'd seen the Mexicans at Ponchos, the Mexicans at Pepe's, and then Jose. And I was like, fucking Jose.
Because I mean, like I know growing up, we were Mexican, but everybody was America. But it wasn't until we went down to Delicias one time to visit my dad's side of his family that we went down there, and I remember it vividly. I mean, we kept driving. I'm like, God dang, how far are we driving? I mean, it was like, you want to talk about Mexico? This was the Mexico, and we finally get down there, and it was my mom and my dad and my sister and a couple aunts, a couple uncles. We all kind of went down as a family, and we got to this. And we were gonna go stay in a hotel, right? So we go and check in the hotel, and my mom walks in the room, turns right around, walks out, and goes, "We're not staying here." So and I'm like, I don't know. Obviously, it wasn't a nice enough place for her to stay, and she's full Mexican. My dad's from Mexican. And then we went and we stayed with his cousins. And I remember it was so hot. That's what I remember the most. I'm like, at least as a child growing up, that was the hottest I'd ever been. There was no AC, anything like that. And I slept on the floor and I got bed bugs. I got bit all over me. I had bed bugs. It was horrible. And then like my cousins just fucked with me so bad. I mean, like let's go play this game. We're gonna blindfold. We're gonna blindfold, and we're gonna walk over here. And then and so we're doing that. And my aunt goes, when y'all come back, she goes, what the hell was that? I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, they blindfolded me so I could try to find my way back. She goes, Ben, and I thought they were holding my hands. They had my hands tied. like I was a prisoner. And she's like, don't play with them anymore. And I'm like, oh, okay. But I don't have great fond memories of Mexico. I mean, even like food is a big thing for me. But I don't even remember really eating anything that good. I do remember visiting a couple places. I remember I had a uncle, or actually it was a cousin, who was a Mountie. Mm-hmm. So he was on a horse. He was a and I don't even know if they call him caballeros there or what they call him there, but he was a military guy, and he was on a horse. And I thought that was the coolest damn thing, And my grandma, this house was like had a little courtyard in the middle of it, but it was like you got everything concrete, and then the road was dirt.
Yeah.
Concrete dirt. And so, when I think about Mexico, and I've been to, Juarez a bunch of times and stuff like that, but I was never like, oh, I love this place. I'd really want to go back to Mexico and do. I've never had a great experience with it. I'm perfectly fine with it,
Yeah.
I'm the opposite, man. I think about those days like as a kid, just growing up with my cousins, like being at grandma's house, and it was just like, I do get what you say about like the food, and there's such a common like, there's such a weird like misrepresentation of what like actual Mexican food is. I feel here, like there's no fucking cheese, there's no sour cream, there's no there's no guacamole and all our shit. Like that doesn't happen.
There's beans on the stove.
Yeah, there's beans.
There's tortillas.
And they're not refried beans.
The comal never turns off.
Yeah.
The comal is always on.
Dude, 'cause, I mean, like I remember, like we would get there. Like my grandma, still to this day, she would wake up at 4 a.m, mill her corn, make tortillas for the day. It's just wild. Like I have great memories of that. But again, it's like I hope one day that I could like go back. And my grandma is still alive, but it's been like 8 or 9 years.
Dude, you gotta go back.
Yeah,
just do it.
Yeah,
that's what me and my wife were talking about the other day. We're talking. We need to do this, we need to do that. And she looked at me, and I looked at her. I said, let's just do it. Yeah. And we just booked it. Fuck it. Like, this place will be here when you get back. Yeah. Like, it's just do it, because she might not be here, in a month or two.
That's
and
true.
then, like, also letting your kids has Zoe been there?
No,
dude, taking Zoe. Like,
yeah, that's the one that scares me.
That would be fun. Like, oh my God,
take her though. That'd be cool though. She needs experience.
Bro, like, it was just such a different way of living, and it was such a simpler way of living, in a good way.
No, I think we've already booked it. Well, I say that we have a appointment next week to take the kids to get their passports. We are booking another trip to take them to the other side, like to near Puerto Vallarta, or whatever, up there, and that way we can drive in, and I'm showing the kid, like, I want you to experience shit. Like, I'm about to show you how these people live, like you have it made, but also experience the culture, like, dude, because growing up I didn't know that about you. Like, I just lived in Halton my whole damn life, so I never left Louisiana until I was a grown man. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Other than like running over to East Texas,
right?
So I'd never been anywhere. So like anytime I get a chance to go somewhere, dude, now it's just like I'm gonna go everywhere.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. It needs to have a little tarantula in there, or something like that.
Does it? Oh, no.
I said it should.
I almost got a bottle of tequila when we were at the cenotes. Mm-hmm. We went to the cenotes, and I almost got a bottle of tequila with a scorpion in it. It was some cheap shit. I was like, no, I'm not buying that.
Oh, this smells fruitier.
Oh, that's got like a lime kind of thing going on.
It's got it's got a bright.
Some kind of like limey or kind of
lime. Ooh, that's my jam. Let me see. Ooh, this is Don Fulano.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? There's no explanation on this one. Can you pull that up, Josh?
This is gonna sound weird.
Don Fulana. Just so we can get a explanation of the.
This is gonna sound. I think of shoe leather.
That's not good. That's not good.
Yes, I'm legal.
You're legal to drinking age. Let's see here. What? I just want to description. They all have a description. What is it?
It's the one, the green with the one with the green on it.
What is it?
Is that Imperial or the Blanco?
It should be the Blanco.
Blanco.
All right. Hold on.
Floral notes.
Minerally. That's
grilled
Floral notes.
pineapple and rich mature Highland agave.
Grilled pineapple.
Damn.
That sounds.
grilled pepper.
Butterscotch.
There's an underlying butterscotch note and almost oily texture.
Yeah.
Oily texture. That's
where you got
a
that,
shoe
yeah.
leather. That's where I'm getting that shoe
But not
leather.
the taste of shoe leather, huh?
No, but like the aroma of shoe leather.
Yeah, because
know,
I
like-
have that when I smell it.
Yeah.
There's something
There's
like
like
that. When
yeah,
you said it, I thought you said taste, and I was scared. I was
No,
like,
no. It's like that. It's like one of my favorite smells is actual leather, but shoe leather has a different smell. Because of the way they tan it and the way it's done. But like saddle
80%
leather,
copper, 20% coffee. And distillation. It's good.
Yeah.
Different. Were you aware that, like the drink, the water thing, the water issue, like in New Mexico, like I don't know what it is in North Mexico, but where we're at, they get all their water from the cenotes.
Yeah, I've heard
And it's
that.
extremely mineral rich, so they
Yeah.
can't drink it. If you drink it longer than a year or two, you develop kidney issues.
Oh wow.
So that's why they drink bottled water.
Oh, okay.
But we were inside the cenotes. Have you ever?
No, I've
experienced
heard
that?
of 'em, yeah.
Dude, you have to fucking. It's a beautiful. So I'll show you some videos after this.
And they're like deep as fuck, right?
Dude, they
it's
go like 70 feet.
damn. Fuck.
But you go inside of them, and they've been there for thousands of years. And there's bats flying everywhere. They don't fuck with you or anything. But you go through, and they have like they have these lights in there, and you just go down, and they give you like a life jacket, and you just kind of just
Really?
meander through there, dude. And it's the clearest water, and it's all like you have these cascading
Stalactites.
yeah,
Yeah.
coming down, and they're just there, and they're like this tall, and you're just like weaving through them, and then the water's so fucking clear, and they go on for miles and miles. and miles.
That's gotta be beautiful,
freak
dude.
me out,
Dude,
though.
it's so
I mean,
beautiful.
Like,
But
every
you can
horror
see
movie of water.
You can,
would be
well,
like
you
that.
can see like I can see the ground. Like there's
Okay.
some places where it's deep.
You know what scares me more than water I can't see through is water that I can see so far down in
No,
that it's dark.
It's not that bad.
shit
It's
scares
not
the
that bad. So
crap
like,
out
there's a
of me.
lot of places. There's places where it's really deep,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a lot of places you can see the bottom. Like so, you're weaving through the places where you can see the bottom, and they're like, "Hey, do you want a life jacket, or do you want like a life jacket that you can still swim in? That if you want to, you can inflate it." My wife's like, "I want that one. I'm just gonna swim the whole way." I was like, "Fuck that! Give me a regular life jacket because I don't know what I'm getting into, bro. I'm not that great of a swimmer."
Superwoman
So
over
my
there.
ass had a regular life jacket. I'm just floating, and my wife's swimming and going underwater and looking at shit. She's like, "Look down here." I was like, "Fuck that! I'm just gonna follow the little guide, dude." But what was so impressive to me, and I'm not a big tourist person. This is my first time ever outside of the United States.
That's awesome.
Is the integrity and the knowledge of these guys that are walking you through these things and
Right.
telling you all this stuff. And the guy that took us to the Mayan ruins, dude.
Oh, shit.
And dude, like I found out all that information.
Yeah.
And he was telling me about the Mayan people versus the Mexican people.
Yeah.
And how the wars between them, and
Yeah.
then telling us that basically the land we are on is the Mayan land, not the Mexican land. But the Mexican bought all this side of this, and and he's a Mexican guy, and he's just saying like this is the Mayan people, like, and the people you see working in this community in the jungle, that's the Mayan.
Yeah.
They're Mayan. You're not the Mexican, and all that shit was really fucking cool.
Because Mexico comes from Spain, technically.
Yeah.
It's, it's.
But
it's wild.
there's still thousands and thousands and thousands of Mayan people.
Yeah, like
there.
indigenous people.
Like
yeah.
you just thought, like when you hear growing up, the Mayan civilization was extinct. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
No, they're still there.
That's wild.
They're still there, and they're living in the jungle.
Shit.
Dude, it's crazy. And they build their own houses. They you can't own land there, so they pay for the right to build a house on that land.
Well, it's like leasehold property.
I mean, they just
That's like Hawaii. You can't buy.
same thing
land.
for water. You can't own, like, you have to pay for the right to drill for the water.
Well, have you
It's
ever
crazy.
been to Carlsbad Caverns
No, where's that?
in New Mexico?
Dude, no, I've been to Carlsbad and fucking worked oil field, but I never went to anything
There's
cool.
there's a Carlsbad Caverns in New Mexico. It's basically that's what it is. It's a deep underground. There was some explorers going down, and every night the bats come out, but they kind of went down this thing, and it goes so far down. You actually start out like in the middle of the day. You have like you can have little headphones things, and you go down, and it's phenomenal. And you go so far down, it starts to get cold,
Yeah.
And then you get down to the bottom, but everything's lit up. But it has stalactites and stalagmites, and everything's lit and really neat. And it's so far down that you actually have to take an elevator to get back out of it.
That's
At the bottom of it. It's really a neat thing. But if you're claustrophobic or you don't like dark type.
Well,
places,
that's what they were
don't
telling
go.
people, but I was like, dude, there's holes that you could see up into the sky, like throughout these cenotes,
Yeah.
whatever. And I was just like, it's everyone needs to do it. Like, and they're all over South America and Mexico, and they're everywhere. But dude, it's just crazy. I didn't know about the water. The water, that's where they get their water.
Wow. Yeah. And I guess they can't filter that water either. There's too many minerals in it.
It's so there's so many minerals in it.
So thick. Yeah. But speaking of your hijos, tell us about your.
The new
tattoo.
Yeah,
that
bro.
is so amazing.
Shout out your very first one.
Very first one. So I think it just went back to like I've always wanted one, and like we were talking about, like just start doing shit that you want to do, like whatever. And I think I'm kind of in that phase of life where it's like if I want to do something, I'm just gonna fucking do it now, like whatever. So I'd been following this guy for a while. His name's David Vega. He's in Austin, and he's known as like a realism, I
think I know him.
Big time like realism guy. And so I had been following him for a while. So one night I was drunk and I honestly just messaged him, and I was just like,
"You up?"
Yeah, I was like, "Hey man," and he's one of those guys that I think he does have like a big clientele base. So he's one of those guys where like you have to like get on his books like way ahead of time.
It's probably my wife.
And so I kind of just messaged him, and I was like, "Hey man, I'd love to, I love your portrait work. I'd like to get picture. I'd like to get something done. What's the prices? And when can I get in?" Well, he didn't message me back for like 2 months, and then he messaged me and he's like, "Hey, I can get you in a couple months, blah, blah, blah." So went from there, and he said portraits are usually like 6 to 8 hours. Well, I didn't realize this was a double portrait. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't think about it like that, right? So I put my deposit down. I go in there like scheduled to be at noon. And we were there 14 hours, dude. I left there at 2 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did your
You just sat
so you
there
didn't
and
stop
did
taking ink at any time? Because like after like 5 hours, like it starts for me. It gets to be an issue.
Yeah. Well, we would stop like every hour, I guess. just
Okay,
for,
okay. So,
bathroom
yeah, okay.
breaks. But yeah, it was wild. And honestly, like the first 10 hours were pretty chill.
Yeah.
And that last 4, I was just like
Just get super sensitive.
Sensitive to everything.
Yeah.
And then once he's doing like the shading and then the white, I was just like, oh fuck. And then like that last 2 hours, he's like, "Man, we're just gonna knock this thing out because I can tell you're struggling." I was like, "Yeah, let's do it."
That's a long time for your first time, dude. Shout out.
Yeah, no, and I know, and like people keep saying, they're like, "Damn, that was your first tattoo?" And I was like, "Yeah." And naively, honestly, I really thought I was gonna go in there like 6 to 8 hours.
Well,
but
when you say naively, it's funny because when people look at tattoos, they're like, "How long did that take?" And people like they look at something like that, and they just assume somebody can do that in 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
They're fucking idiots.
The
Like
finesse, I mean, just
like,
and this is coming from an artist,
Yeah.
okay? The ability
beautiful.
to do shadows and highlights using your natural skin tone,
Yeah.
but to do the shadows and to have it blend so smoothly, piercing your skin is just, that blows me away.
No,
It's
dude,
insane,
he
man.
was amazing, dude. Like he is an artist, and like he was actually too. Like the cool thing is like I didn't regret any of it. Like even him as a person, like he was a super chill dude. Like
was it a rotary machine where it's like real quiet?
I don't, because he was using like 3 different.
Was there one that was like,
Yeah.
dude, those are the worst because like when they get in some bad spots, it hurts and it's really fucking loud, and you're like,
dude, that like last 2, I'm not kidding you, like that last hour, like I was just like staring at it and I could just see those needles in slow motion. Dude, just like.
So was it as painful, more painful, or less painful than you thought it was going to be?
I don't know, because like I said, like I'd do it again. So it wasn't like
It's just, dude. It's not.
It's more like a sensitivity thing.
It's not
an uncomfort as opposed to like I'm fucking dying of pain.
Yeah, it's not painful. Like it is, but it isn't. But people are always like, "Did that hurt?" And I'm like, "Dude, why'd I be covered in them if it fucking hurt?" Like honestly, like.
Yeah, it's more of a discomfort, I feel, after a while. It's like shit.
So what was your wife's opinion on it before you got it?
She was all for it.
Just for it?
Yeah,
She's
she
cool
was
with
like,
it?
do what you want to do, like, do it. I mean, she wasn't happy about, like, what I paid for it, but...
But you know what? You get what you pay for.
Yeah, you get what you paid for, and I was like,
get what you pay for. And if it's going to be there forever?
Yeah.
You gotta went somewhere around
You don't want
here.
your daughter looking like, you don't want your daughter looking like the elephant, man.
And it would look like, yeah, exactly. It would look like...
No, and it did, like, once he got closer to, like, the elbow joint, and he was doing the white on Zoe's hair. I remember I texted Leanne, I was like, Zoe's about to be a bald motherfucker.
Because you ready to tap out.
Yeah.
She got one strand of hair.
Dude, the weirdest place for me ever was on the elbow because the bone, there's like no nerves there. So you can feel them hitting the bone.
You can feel the vibration.
Yeah, and it goes all over to your fingers.
Oh,
but it's not that it hurts. It's fucking weird.
I wondered that, like how the elbow. Because I do want to like eventually like.
The worst place that ever like bothered me was up under the up under the armpit.
Oh yeah,
like right there. That's probably the most sensitive place.
Yeah.
So
All right.
where and what are you gonna get next?
I want like a religious piece of some sort.
Okay.
Like I think that's like
Jesus on there.
yeah, or like Virgin Mary or something.
Yeah.
And then maybe like I've been looking at like some Aztec stuff to just kind of like fill the whole thing in.
So you want to do your whole arm at some point?
Yeah, and then I think I'll be done after.
Hell yeah. No, you won't. No, you won't.
Yeah, I said the guy with
The wild shit is so my mom hasn't seen it. She's gonna beat my ass. I already know.
You know what? I read something.
I did grow up in that kind of household. She was
Dude,
like, you get
I read
tattoos,
something
you get
that said that.
piercings, you don't like live here.
It said like, hey, you're 18, you can do whatever you want. Okay, obviously you didn't grow up Mexican.
yeah.
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
So like I honestly like she's been in Mexico for the past month, like taking care of some family stuff, and she's been back this past week, and I've kind of been avoiding her. She's like, I'm gonna come up.
He's gonna wear a
You wear
jacket.
long sleeves.
He's gonna wear a jacket.
Mijo, it's 100 degrees.
Dude, I was like that with my grandma when I first got mine, and then eventually she was just like, she's like, I can't believe you did that. You had prettiest arms, and, all this, whatever. And then eventually she was just like, whatever. But it is interesting.
Yeah.
It is interesting because I don't know, man.
That's beautiful.
The good thing is it's family though, so that'll help a little bit.
bit.
Instead of just getting like a fucking tribal tattoo like I did. You know?
That's wild. No, I mean, like I said, I'm hooked. Like I told Colby, I was like, I'm ready for the next one.
That's
like,
awesome. Well, see, that's what I want. But I want the birth footprints of my grandchildren.
Yeah.
We're supposed to do that on the.
Yeah, we were gonna do that on the show, but I couldn't get with the guy enough.
Well, we
to do
still
it.
can.
We'll figure it out.
Who's gonna do it?
Kurt.
Yeah, we're gonna have to-
Yeah,
I like
Kurt's
Kurt.
supposed to do it. He's just waiting on us to get with him.
But
Honestly.
also, I'm kind of like. I'm like
think
you.
Ben's kinda
I'm like,
scared.
if I want to get one, I want to get one.
Yeah.
Because I actually have this scar on my back that goes from the middle, my shoulder blade down to the middle of my back, because I had a lipoma removed, and so I have this really crazy scar, and I wanted to do a wing on this side, and then a broken wing on this side.
Yeah.
But Cheryl was like, "The hell,"
Yeah.
so I was like, "Okay."
All right. So this is
Oh, this smells.
the Paladar.
Oh, wow, this smells
Paladar.
peppery.
That is sweet.
All right. From the last of the independent founding families of tequila, Paladar is a homage to the traditions of Mexico. We harvest Blue Weber agave from our own fields, which slow cooks in brick ovens in open air pine box
There's a sweetness
ferments.
to that.
It does not taste like it smells.
No.
It says
does not.
pine box ferments and wild and proprietary yeast. Each batch of Paladar is twice distilled in a copper and stainless steel pot blend, then aged in an American oak that previously held bourbon. We celebrate this product of the earth with each bottle hand dipped in the volcanic soil of our agave fields. So this is the volcanic soil on the bottom. That's fucking cool.
Oh, that's sweet.
That's
Just
cool.
dip it
So
in
that's
there.
actual volcanic soil
Okay, I
on the
like
bottom
that.
of it.
That's cool. That's worth keeping.
No, that's good.
Josh has got it pulled up. They have beautiful photos.
Eduardo. Orendain Jr. Master Distiller. I like that logo. That cut agave.
That's very unique. I don't
Right?
think
It
I've
doesn't taste
ever
like it
tasted
smells.
I've never tasted tequila that tastes like that ever in my life.
Read everything. What about sustainability?
I guess they can't. There's no added. It's yeah. It
All
was
right,
in the,
so
Okay, what's
the
that
distillery is
smell?
50% solar power with a goal of 90% by 2024. So I wonder if they've updated. They hadn't updated their website. That's
yeah,
for sure.
Fuck that. That solar power ain't working too well for the.
Their bottles are made from 100% recycled glass sourced in Jalisco. That's cool. Case boxes made from 100% recycled paper sourced in Jalisco. That's cool. Is this dude white? Scroll back up. I feel like he's white. Just based on what I'm reading, like it sounds like some white shit.
But technically,
He looks pretty white.
but he's Latino though.
Yeah. But
Okay, what's that smell? Is it the yeast?
Oh,
So-
they're the same people that make the
Arete,
tequila,
yeah. We've had that.
Uh-huh.
So this guy in 2019 got his own little thing going. It's definitely unique. And I do like the bottle's badass.
I think I could I taste those oak barrels. Maybe that's where that sweetness is coming
It probably
from.
comes from. But there's a smell that I don't know if it's that if it's a yeast smell
Yeah,
or.
but you know every reposado is going to be an oak barrel, right?
Yeah.
But there's a. So there's a spice in there. It's kind of like when I taste food
There is a little spice.
and
It's weird.
and I'm like, okay, what is that? What is that? What is that?
I don't know what that is.
And I can't figure it out.
Hey,
It could just be the wood.
going back to tattoos. Has Kurt ever done anything for you? Like, have you?
No, here's my thing, dude. I need to set aside time.
Yeah.
I talk to him because, like, I need some touch up done on this. I would like to add, I don't really have anything I want to cover up. I'm happy with what I got now. These are technically both of these pieces are cover ups. They're just massive cover ups.
Yeah.
But I would like him to blend this sleeve into this sleeve on my back.
I got you.
But I don't know what I want. And Kurt's, he's been on the show, he's a phenomenal artist, but Kurt's one of those artists that's like, I only do my style.
Yeah.
Right.
So if he and I could sit down and decide on what his style blend in with Chris Stripling, which is all of my shit.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't tattoo anymore.
Yeah.
If he could somehow cohesively blend that and give me a piece on my back that blends both together, because I have like this goes into a big skull on my back and this just ends back here. So if I can blend them together, I'm gonna let Kurt do it.
Yeah,
I just don't know what that's gonna be, and I want it to fit in something he's comfortable doing, because he is that guy. He's just like, hey, I'll do what I want to do, and I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
See, I always thought too, like, you know, some people, that tattoos tell a story. Sometimes tattoos are, you know, like, you know, you want to see the people you love every single day. And that's like I told Cheryl, I was like, I want to be able to look at my grandchildren's footprints every day. But then there's also like things that represent you as a person, like your experiences. Like if I were to get a tattoo and say, if you could have me a tattoo, it would be something that described my life. Like I would get a tattoo that blended an Italian artist's stuff with Hawaiian, with tribal, you know, with growing up there with the Mexican, you know, with all these, you know, trying to blend all this. And some people say, well, you can't mix culture, you can't blend things.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, some people say,
right.
Like with me, I want to design my.
You could though. You could take the Samoan. You could take the Aztec, Mexican, whatever, Mayan, whatever, and then blend it with Italian.
Yeah, and I've seen some really good artists that, you know, that can do that. And you know, for me, it's always been, because I do have 2 tattoos. You can't see them, but I actually made them. I did them to myself in high school. Okay,
shit.
Yeah, it was like, you know, it was India ink, a needle, and a pencil, and some thread. Because I was like, oh, let's see if this actually works. Yeah, it does work.
Yeah.
But actually, to be a form of art, to actually tell a story.
Yeah.
And like with yours, you know, every time you look at it, oh, those are the people I love. And every time you think, you know, life is shit, or things, you could look back and go, that's why I do what I do.
Yeah, I think for me, it was like I wanted something to like symbolize my children, but I couldn't think of what. I'm like, do I get like a heart? Do I get like a cross with their names, like this and that? And then when I started following David or whatever, I was like, fuck, dude, this guy is a fucking man. I could just get actually them, and there's no better representation to me
argument there.
Them.
It's like,
yeah. But like I went down a rabbit hole of like tattoo artists.
Oh God, yeah. Just go down this whole thing.
I went down this fucking rabbit hole, and I'm like, well, who local is like badass? And like Kurt was one of the guys like that I came across, and like I was like, and oddly enough, like he came to the tap one day, and he was just sitting there by himself, and I had been following his stuff, so I knew what he looked like. So I was like, are you Kurt? You know? And he was like, yeah, man. And he ended up like he told me like one of his favorite artists is Kyle, our graphic designer. He's like, that dude is so badass.
Wow, that's cool.
And he was like, if you ever want Redwood creative art tattooed on you, I will do it.
Boom, there you go.
Yeah, and and I was like, dude, that'd be cool.
Now you need to brand up yourself.
Yeah, that'd be fucking cool.
I've been thinking about that. My wife's like, I was like, dude, fucking, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, this is part of my life.
Yeah,
you know?
And it turns out he was like, dude, y'all's IPAs are like my favorite thing. And he drinks IPA. I was like, I didn't fucking know that. And then I told him, I was like, well, I'm just now about to go get my first tattoo. And he's like, who's doing it? And I was like, this guy named David Vega out of Austin. He's like, dude, that guy is the fucking man when it comes to realism. And I'm like, okay, cool. That makes me feel good.
And that's what you said, realism. That's what I like, realism. It's like, you know, with painting, I always admire people who can do abstract. People who can make things look, can bring something out of nothing. But with me, it's like, my reference is what I'm trying to achieve. My reference photo is what I'm trying to achieve. Or like most of my paintings, Ron Atwood taught me a really cool thing called paper dolls. I'm sure I've talked about this before. Like when I'm composing a painting, I take different images and I move them around, and I decide, okay, this goes here. Then computers are really great for that, because I can actually, if something's closer to you, obviously it's larger, keep your horizon lines the same, you know, make things look, don't make it look like you just pasted 3 things, make it look like an actual, like the DFW page, or the picture you have, the poster you have.
Yeah.
That's like 5 different photographs that I kind of mended together to make one scene. And so it's always, when you can take, you know, all those photos and with that, how do I make my tattoo, you know, the way that I want it? And so, but photorealistically, and that's the thing too, it's like, I know what I want, you found a guy that knew exactly what you wanted and did exactly what you wanted. For me, it'd be like, I'd go find the dude because I was drunk on a Thursday. Did it, and the face looked different or something like that. But no, it's good.
I don't know. I just didn't want to be those guys. Like I know people like this, and I'm not fucking hating. I think that some people just love tattoos, and they'll go to like whatever.
People just get random shit.
And they'll show up like, look at my new tat, and it's like a fucking ladybug or something. But what does that mean? Yeah. Like, stuff like that. Like I got this. This is like butterflies. Like okay, but what's I don't know. It's wild. Teach their own though. Teach their own for sure.
No,
I
for
think
sure.
It's awesome, man. Yeah. What did your daughter think of it?
She loved it. She was concerned. She's like, I'm afraid I'm gonna look like
So she was worried about what she was going to look like.
She was worried about her.
And I mean, I was concerned too. I'm like halfway through. I'm like, man, damn, Christian's looking a little cross-eyed there.
It looks amazing. When you showed it to us when you walked in, I didn't realize you didn't have any others just because I have them, and I'm just like, I don't think of people that don't have them anymore. And my wife's got them fucking everywhere, and she's like, she's the one that just, I don't know what that fucking means, just got it drunk. I'm like mine at least had some preparation. Like hers is just like whatever. So like,
and so when she wants to go get hers, what are your and your wife's opinions on it?
She can do it. I mean, I think we're so past like the taboo of like tattoo. I honestly, and I remember this too. Like when I got into like healthcare like 13 years ago, it was just, like I actually even had like instructors that were like, y'all be careful, or like if students had like tattoos, like I remember they would have to wear the long sleeves when we were students going to the hospitals and all that stuff. And
dude, it was like that, and it was like that in law enforcement and everything for the longest time. You couldn't even have it then.
My daughter, when she turned 18, she wanted a tattoo. My youngest daughter. So, and because Cheryl told her, no, you can't have a tattoo till she turned 18. So she turned 18, she got a tattoo, but I designed it.
That's cool.
And so she got it on her foot, on the top of her foot, and we still have pictures of her when she got it done. But I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I actually got the chance to design, but it's her Hawaiian name, and it's got a plumeria flower, like a abstract type of plumeria flower, so with that sense, I was like, yes, you can get that tattoo because you're half Hawaiian. This represents you. It's your Hawaiian name, totally on board with it. You let us be a part of it. You didn't go behind our back and do it. You waited till you're 18, and we did all that for you. So I think it's a cool thing. But like, I even didn't get a tattoo for the longest time because I wanted to go work for Disney. And there was a time when if you had visible tattoos, you had to cover them up if you were going to work, head of house, in front of guests.
Right.
But now,
no one cares.
Do what the hell you want.
Yeah, it's different now.
So,
but that's just happened in the past 10 years.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Let's do. Well, you want to do the head of Dura or the Don Julio? Let's do the head of Dura.
I mean, we don't have any like luxury brands today, so.
No. Well, this was about $55.
Yeah. I got this one was 60 something. This one was 60 something. This one's 80. I don't know, what would you 60 something. Yeah, so we're not in Gucci brands today.
So this is a reposado and this is a reposado. So we'll see how the difference between the reposado.
Oh, I can already tell you. I think that is the most unique reposado I've ever tasted in my life. What are you doing, bro?
Bro, I got ice on this thing. That ain't overheating today. Science.
That's smooth.
It's smooth.
It tastes like a traditional reposado.
It tastes very manufactured.
Right.
Yeah, it tastes very manufactured. Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. It tastes like a good reposado. If you were in a bar,
it's very good. Actually, it's very good.
Yeah, no, it's great. But there's nothing like this. Is totally unique.
It's unique as fuck. So that's going to be one that I'm putting on the. I'm not going to forget it list.
Yeah.
This one too, though. Very unique.
Yeah, definitely unique. But it confuses me.
I didn't tell anybody I was talking about. I was talking about the Paladar and the Don Fulano. I can't forget people that aren't watching because there's a lot of people that just listen. I'll get to drinking and forget to explain things.
I'm taking baby sips now, man. After the last time,
Same. Well,
that was wild. Well, you pregame.
Well, you didn't.
Oh, did you know? Did you see?
This is just for some reason. Look, I only had an inch of I just like to have a little bit before I go right into straight tequila.
Did you know Willie Nelson has his own?
Yeah.
His own THC drink now.
Yeah.
Damn.
That is that is very popular. The THC, the gummies,
I got some in here. You want to break them out? I got some in here.
After the man, no, I don't do that. What are you talking about?
I got some, man.
I get tested regularly. What do you mean?
Yeah.
No,
Do you have the Willie Nelson?
no, I have the other one that.
The nowadays?
The one that you've seen on the shelf in there, yeah.
Okay, yeah. That one, that was.
But yeah, Willie has. I assume it's probably the similar product.
So what do you think about that? What do you think about the legalization of marijuana and like? Because here's what I don't understand. Okay, alcohol is poison, more or less. It's a poison.
Yeah, of course.
It's manufactured.
It's
you make
elixir.
It, you know, Yeah, and you can drink as much as you want all day, every day, as long as you're not operating a vehicle or something like that.
They found out how to tax it. But here's the thing, dude. You can go all the way back to. We can dive down a rabbit hole if you want.
Okay, but today, I'm talking about today now. Should it become something that you can legally enjoy?
I agree. Yes. 1,000%.
And what jobs should not ever allow you to take it?
Well, here's the problem. You can't test for alcohol. It doesn't have a half-life, right?
So it's like,
thank you.
So it's like, I mean,
you can drink all night the night before.
And then the next day, I mean, your blood alcohol content is going to be high, but your kidney's going to filter it out, and eventually it's not going to show up within 24, 48 hours, whatever that science is. I'm not sure. Josh can look it up in a second, but but with weed, it stays in your system so long that it's not that it inherits your abilities. It's just that it sustainably shows up, right?
Right.
But there's been thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of research and papers and all these things it's done that shows the benefits of it. Another thing is I'm going to talk about like psilocybin mushroom use because I'm like super into that now.
Yep.
My wife and I do it recreationally, but not too much. Like, I just recently did like a macro dose a couple days ago. But you don't like. I'm one of those people that I'm not going to do it excessively, like maybe once every couple months or something. But it just takes you to another place. But a lot of people microdose it too now. But there's so many benefits, like with PTSD, with trauma, with all these things. There's so many studies.
I've read those studies.
There's peer-reviewed studies
for,
that I can.
Ex-soldiers with PTSD and helping them.
And I've had those people on talking about that with testosterone replacement therapy, as well as like utilizing DMT, marijuana, as well as psilocybin mushrooms, and what else is the other one? Ayahuasca, same thing.
Yeah.
There's more studies that show benefits than studies that don't, right? And I think it's just it's a money issue. It always is.
It's a money, it's a control. It's because I know like even like I read one study that said like literally they have formulas out there where you could literally take your body mass, your weight, like all this other stuff, plug it into a formula, and they could determine how such amount of alcohol is going to impair you, in what way it's going to impair you. With like THC and all this other stuff, with marijuana, mushrooms, the psilocybins, all this stuff, there's no way of knowing. A lot of us will react different to certain.
Every single person, you can't copy and paste because and it's interesting too because it affects you at a cognitive level versus like a blood alcohol level, you know. But it's just funny how like there's so much. Here's the thing, dude. Josh, where's Josh? He's up here. All right, so like, whenever they started outlawing marijuana, and they immediately made it a racial thing where it was they brought in African Americans, and that's what brought the whole thing. That brought the whole thing to a head. It's taken us 50 or 60 years to get past that, and that's the problem, right? Because that's the only reason why it was brought to a head is because it was used to segregate those people from us, and so. I mean, now we know that and states are passing. It's still not federally legal yet, but I feel like it will be in the next couple of years. I mean, it's going to have to be. And the same thing with psilocybin mushrooms. I think it's the same thing because, like, those things, like the 70s, everyone's tripping on acid and all this LSD, and then people are doing mushrooms. But I feel like once you figure out how to harness that stuff and chemically, like, arrange things and dose it right, like there's a lot of, like people have been using that for thousands of years, man. Alcohol was created in the past 200 years.
And here's the bad part, okay? And here's what pisses me off about certain things like that, because when I was managing properties, I didn't develop the policy, but there was a zero tolerance policy, right? We had a guy who came off of the work release program, hard worker. I really liked him. He was a great guy. I talked to him every time I saw him. He got out of jail. We hired him because he's a great worker. Okay. We had an accident. There was an accident. He busted his finger. We had to send him to quick care.
Yeah.
Anytime you send somebody,
workers' comp.
You've got to workers' comp.
Yep.
You have to have a drug test,
Yep.
right? Well, guess what? He popped up positive for THC. He didn't smoke it at work. He smoked it a few days before
Exactly.
that. And guess what? We had
Probably on his day off.
we had to fire him.
Exactly.
And it pissed me off because I was like, I do not want to lose this guy because I know he wasn't high at work.
Right.
But because you guys did this test and it showed up. So it made me kind of think, okay, when does the person, because I mean, I don't know if that's why he went to jail, but I do know that, you know, he had experience with it, but he never showed up to work high. He never showed up to work, you know, drunk. But because it was in there, it caused that red flag. And so I thought, that's not fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Not saying it's not right. It's just, it's not fair. Of course, life is not fair. I don't create policy. I just have to instigate it, or I have to, you know, make sure that I follow it. But as time moves on, let's say that you're one of your X-ray technicians, or if you were still in the thing, they misdiagnose something, and then they decide to sue them, and they say, well, you know what? We have pictures of them smoking weed 3 days before they did the thing. You know, how much does that become? They didn't do it while they were working, but they did it on their own time. But it still is associated with them.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's all like what DJ said. It's control. It's money.
Yeah.
It's that negative connotation that they.
Well,
create.
So how do we get past
We
it?
have to. Well, here's the thing. It's just like anything else. Like, how long did it take to get past the racial thing? Like,
Yeah.
we have to accept that. Well, we're still not there, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm getting right.
I understand,
what
but I understand
you
what
see
you're
what I'm getting
saying.
at.
I understand
Like,
what you're saying.
we have to realize that the reason why it's illegal is because it was 100% racist.
Right.
That we made it illegal,
Yeah.
Right.
and also that we also, not only that, it was a capitalist thing because we blockaded the production of hemp for cotton. It was 100% capitalist. And then we took that on the backside of the production of hemp, which was not for recreational use, it was for clothing and other things. Then we blockaded the recreational use of THC, like of smoking that same product for recreational use by associating it to African Americans because they were segregating against them. Yeah. So like it's twofold. We blockaded it from a capitalist perspective and from a segregation perspective. And unfortunately, it takes a long time to admit your faults in this country.
Yep.
20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
Like, and then eventually you're like, okay, it's okay now. We're admitting that we did it because of these reasons, or enough investigations have come out to say that, yes, this is why we did it. But that's why we did it. I mean, there's thousands of layers of proof showing that's why we did it.
Right.
And like that's why your shirt's made of cotton and not hemp, because some motherfucker come along and outplayed the hemp game.
Yeah.
And guess what?
Right.
Now cotton's what shit's made out of, not hemp, but hemp's just as effective and a lot more cost efficient to produce clothing. So who knows, man? I mean, honestly, who knows? And it grows quicker too, and I don't know, man. There's a lot of things.
And then, like you said, I think it's a control issue too, where they couldn't figure out how to properly tax it or how to properly control it and all this other stuff.
Not yet.
And
Not
in all
yet.
honesty,
But I think like Colorado has released like numbers saying that like the positive economic impact that legalizing
Dude.
marijuana has had on that state.
I remember the first time I went to Colorado and I bought weed. I was so fucking paranoid.
Yeah.
Like I was in a parking lot dispensary and it was like during COVID, and it was like, there's the 6 foot policy and all this shit. So like they had to bring it out to your vehicle, and there's like a cop back here in the parking lot. I'm like, dude, I'm
just
literally
making sure they don't get robbed.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm literally right here about to get they're about to walk out with my weed order,
Yeah.
and there's a cop back here.
Nah, it's
the
wild,
first time
man.
I purchased it legally.
I think I'm a component of it. Like I think it's safer than and I'm saying this as like a guy that produces alcohol.
Where are
for a
you
living.
at? Like, as soon as it becomes legal, are you open to doing like a weed seltzer, like a THC seltzer?
Yeah. I would do it. I mean, I think it's kind of like also too. I think it's like we were talking about with like the tattoo things, where it's like there's been a connotation with it, you know, and it's like,
Dude,
and it's even wild because like
we're human, bro.
this
Like,
is so dumb. Like, all right, so like your kid walks out like this back door, and they're like, And it's just that it's gotten to that point. Your kid walks out the back door and you're having a beer. Like, your kid thinks nothing of it. Like, imagine your kid walking out the back and you're smoking a fucking blunt. Like, they're going to be like, oh, shit, my dad's doing drugs.
Well, that's
and
what
it's
I
like,
thought.
I'm actually doing something. You know, that's
what
how
I
we
thought
thought.
my whole life.
He's like, oh, these motherfuckers
And
are
like,
doing
my
drugs,
kids now
dude.
know, my kids now know that which is, anyone, look, you can get at me after this. That's fine. I don't care. I'll have an argument with you all day long. I like to be honest with my children to a certain level.
Yeah.
Right? To where they can understand. But here's the thing. My kids know that recreationally we use marijuana in like a gummy form or whatever it may be, like for sleep aid or whatever. We're not just toking up and getting high as shit. And the same thing, they know that about mushrooms. They know that.
Yeah.
But they also they know they're not going to try to do it. The same thing, why is it okay for me to go to dinner and have a drink with them sitting there, but I can't, like you said, but I can't do this.
But also by the same token, the same people who are going to abuse alcohol will abuse that.
It doesn't matter.
It's the
It doesn't
person.
matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It's
just
not,
like you're abusing
and that's what they
fucking,
think.
you're abusing Adderall or abusing fucking oxycodone.
That's the thing that's even worse. Is like, I can go to a doctor and I'll say it too. Like, I'm on anxiety medications. I'm on depression medications. Like, I take those. Like, I'm an advocate for mental health positively.
Amen.
Take what you need.
You're back on.
Yeah, take what you need to be better, right? And it's like, but at the same time, I go to my doctor and it's like, well, do you want some Xanax? And I was like, no, I don't want fucking Xanax. Like, what are you talking? Like, I'm not that fucking off. And plus, I've known, I've known like what Xanax has done to people. So I'm like,
we're in high school, motherfuckers doing that shit.
Yeah.
What do they call it?
Like, they're like
brick or something like that?
Fall asleep.
Yeah,
call
like
a bar, like
no,
a bar.
you know,
Yeah.
And I had tried it before in my younger days, and it's
I'm
like,
not taking
I don't
that
like
shit.
waking up and not know what the fuck happened
No, I ain't
yesterday.
doing that
you know,
shit.
and it's like, but that's okay, right? Like, you can prescribe me Xanax, you can prescribe me Klonopin, you can prescribe me this stuff,
But you can't prescribe me THC at the same time.
Yeah.
Right.
But I can't just go get weed gummies.
Right.
You know?
In this
Well, you
state,
could, but if you took a urine test and it showed that you had it,
it depends.
Right. Medication.
So it depends on who you're working for. In this state, you can get a license.
Yeah. Yes, you can.
We it's legal. We have one. In this state, you can get one.
Right.
You go see a doctor.
But it still doesn't hold up. Like, if
it doesn't hold federally, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But if you have a position where it's yes. If you're working for a company that operates
has a zero tolerance policy.
Exactly.
It's like,
and so yes.
That's the wildest shit. Like, something could happen at work or whatever, and like, I go pee and they say, hey, we found, this in your system. It's like, it's cool, that's prescribed. My doctor prescribes me all my fucking Klonopin and Xanax and Valium. We're good. Yeah. And it's like, but they find THC and it's like,
oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Dude.
But you know what? And this is like so off thing, but I thought about it because we're talking about how do you change things. I have a very good friend of mine that I've known for many, many years. His name is Dr. Sam Wyatt. He was one of the board members when I was operating the golf courses. He was one of the board members, and he went on to get his doctorate degree. He went on to work for LSU, and now he's running for senator of Louisiana.
Shout out.
Nice.
Shout out.
And I told him he needs to come and talk to you.
He does.
And so
give him my
I'm
number.
going to set it up that you guys talk to him. I'd
love to.
He was a police officer for the longest time.
Okay.
Here, a Bossier police officer, and then he moved down to Baton Rouge, and he did stuff for LSU. LSU, the actual worked at LSU in Baton Rouge. He got his doctorate degree. He's probably, and this is no offense to any cop or anything. I love all police officers. The things you have to go through on a daily basis. He's probably the first one I've met that I never questioned his ethics or his values, and I really like him as a person, and we still text every now and then, and he's going to run for senator, and I think he's going to be really good for this country, or at least for this state, because he's not part of the good old boys club.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just got to have somebody to go in there and go, okay, stop. Let's rethink this. Let's look at this from another angle. I'm not saying he's going to make weed legal, so please don't go there. But I'm just saying somebody who has a different point of view from everything we've done up to.
We're not sitting here ringing the weed bell, dude, because I don't really care. At the end of the day, like
Is that an aerator?
True Mexican,
Yeah.
dude. That's the true.
That's that wax, man.
Yeah.
A little bit of wax on there, whatever that is.
No, I was looking at the little. Look at the little
Mexican
hole. Yeah,
force
yeah.
spout. Yeah.
It's like, you only get so much, Vato.
Yeah, if
you pour it. The Mexican pour valve.
You know how industrialized this is.
You know that like it came from Mexico.
Oh, really? So
Yeah.
you don't overdo it.
I mean, I don't know what
Look at that.
what it
There it
does, but it's like that's how.
Maybe it aerates it.
Yeah, maybe so.
So American bottle's not gonna have that.
No.
This is the Cristalino.
So this is a Don
it smells like
Julio
a Cristal-
from Mexico.
It smells like a
Yeah.
Cristalino.
I had it while we were sitting at the table while they were.
Remember we had Los Abuelos, which is Fortaleza. It had that same.
Oh, same kind of. Oh, yeah, that's right, huh?
It's good. Can't go wrong.
Very good.
I barely taste it. I would
Yeah,
get so,
exactly. Yeah, you get
keep that shit away from me, man.
It face. It tastes like water compared to these others.
It does. It tastes like water.
It's delicious though.
But,
But no, man. Yeah, we're not sitting here advocating. I'm not.
yeah,
we're not
no,
advocating.
and my only question was, my only thing was like, okay, there's so many things that you can do because for the longest time it's been legal. But
Right.
again, like alcohol, you could buy as much as you want. You could drink as much as
what
you
I
want.
was saying,
it
like
kills-
alcohol, like so mushrooms have been growing on this planet
you
for
taste
millions.
coconut?
Yeah, a little
okay,
bit on the backside. Yeah,
okay.
mushrooms have been growing on this planet for millions of years, or however long you want to argue this planet is. Same thing as marijuana.
We'll have a mushroom
hemp.
conversation when we're done here.
Yeah, and alcohol's like what 2,000-3,000 years old. You know, so like or as long as they can pursue.
So it's
prove it.
control. A lot of, like you said, it's about control.
Well,
about
it's
being
just
able to-
about like
But here's also the thing: is it control, or is it thinking that people aren't smart enough to think that they can handle it? Because some things you don't allow your child
I
to
don't
do
think
because
that's
you
it.
don't think.
I think it's control.
they're
I think
mature
it's.
enough.
I think it's 100% capitalism
Yep.
because
They can't make enough money off of it.
Well, because they already fucked themselves years ago,
Yeah.
right? Because someone came in pushing cotton, and that pushed out hemp.
Yeah.
And so alongside that, they were like, "Well, we got to get rid of the smoking, the hemp too. So let's persecute African Americans for being high on marijuana."
Right.
You know. So then it's like it takes so many years to offset that.
A funny story. I learned how to. One of my aunts taught me how to drive when I was in New Mexico, but every time she taught me to drive, she was smoking weed. She'd be like, I'd be in the passenger seat, right? And then she goes, okay, let's switch out. And so she'd roll up. She goes, don't tell your dad about this. She'd do that, and she'd roll it up, and she'd smoke it. She wanted to tell me how to drive a Standard.
Yeah.
Okay, I was
Nice.
probably, this is before I moved to Italy. So I was probably in 6th grade. Okay, I was driving her stick, right? I actually turned and actually kind of went into a ditch a little bit and was backing out, and a cop rolled up.
Oh no.
And I'm like, and she's like, it's okay. I'm teaching them how to drive. It's all right. We're good. The cop just kept driving.
Hell yeah, Mexico or New Mexico,
New
wherever you're at.
Mexico. It was
New
like,
Mexico.
oh, no. But and it was so funny because I had a dream this morning. I was telling my wife about it. I was back at my grandmother's house, but that aunt was in my dream. But I learned how to drive. You know, my aunt's taught me how to drive. I have an uncle who I've loved since I was a child, who taught me how to. He used to put me on his motorcycle and take me and everything like that. And I just don't talk to them anymore, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, it breaks my heart a little bit because I've grown up and moved on and stuff like that. But I never forgot. Actually, my favorite uncle passed away probably about a year ago. He was a man. He was the guy. He was my uncle who taught me about hair, the value of good hair. Okay, my uncle Edward, because he always had long hair and he was into metal.
I remember you talking about
yeah,
him.
my uncle Edward. He's the one that the reason I love metal. And I remember after we opened up for Ozzy in Hawaii, the only person I wanted to tell was my uncle Edward. Because he was a huge Ozzy fan. I thought, oh my God, my Uncle Edward is going to think this is the best thing in the world. And he had a heart attack probably about a year ago or something. I can't remember how long ago. And he passed away, and it passed away. It broke my heart, but he taught me, he's the one that took me to his hairdresser. And I was like, I want hair like you, you know? He always took very good care of his hair. But after he took me to his hairdresser, he goes, okay. He goes, she cut your hair, but you still, every day, you have to comb it this way. You have to, and so I kind of taught that lesson to my son about it. And so my son understands, you know, like my Uncle Edward did this and that. But he was also the guy that taught me. And okay, there was this commercial on TV. It was maxi pads, right? And I'm like, what are maxi pads? He's like, you know, he does that. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it. Okay, but he was one of the people who never was afraid to tell me the truth about something. You know, tell me the truth about.
People make everything weird, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't feel like there's so many scenarios in our life that could have been avoided had someone not made it extra fucking weird. Yeah. Whether it be our parents or our fucking aunts and uncles or our family or grandparents. Like, dude, you don't have to fucking make it weird. Just tell me.
Yeah. If you have enough uncles, they'll teach you about life.
They will.
You know, they'll teach you about everything. And so when he passed away, it really broke my heart. But the fact that he had such an impact, just being himself, like music. There's some music that, like every time I hear Rosanna, he gave me that cassette. And he taught me about, the little counter. He has a little counter. He goes, okay, when the song starts that you like, push this counter, it'll go to 0. When you're done listening to it, just rewind it until it goes back to 0 and you can listen to it again. I'm like, oh, that's the greatest thing ever, And so he has a very big impact because he took the time to spend time with me. Even if it was him ragging on me and messing with me and making me feel stupid over things I believed in, I still am grateful for that. Yeah. And so, like, when I became a parent and a grandparent, I took all those lessons I learned from people who made an impact in my life, and that's what I did towards my children and now towards my grandchildren. I try to always be a certain way. And yes, every now and then, as a grandparent, I've seen a lot of things where you go, Mama said you can't have chocolate. First thing you give them is chocolate, okay? I try not to do that because I always want my grandchildren for their parents to be their first thing. But I also want them to know when you come to CC and Pop-Up's house, we'll give you whatever you want as long as, it's okay.
There's approval.
Right.
Like, you're not here to rebel.
Right. We're not going to say, oh, well, you can't do that at Mama's house.
That's what's so annoying with every fucking grandparent.
No, we're not like that.
Worried about it. Well, dude, grandparents have been parents before, and they know how it works.
But you know how hard it is as a grandparent to understand where that balance point is?
I have no idea. Oh my God, because I'm still trying to figure out where the balance point is as a parent.
My mother is the worst.
Oh, she'll let them do whatever?
Whatever.
Do you tell her, like, what the fuck?
Well, yeah, because she was so hard on me and my brother. Yeah. And she'll call me and say, hey, you need to, like, loosen up on Christian and don't be so hard on him.
You gotta let it.
Or treat him this way or whatever. And it's like, Mom, like, you never fucking did that. And now he's got her played too. Like,
oh yeah, they know what they're doing.
He knows. So he'll do this thing where, like, my mom will come over and he says, I want to go with you. And he knows that when Mom picks him up, they're going to go to McDonald's and he's going to get a Happy Meal. And then after that, they're going to go to Target.
He's the same motherfucker. Yeah. He can't say shit. Yeah, he's the same motherfucker.
They're going to go to Target.
That dude's the same one. I know.
Yeah. They're going to go to Target and he's going to get a toy or whatever he wants. Yeah. And then after that, and like he'll play. Like, they don't even go to her house. Like, after that, he'll just tell Mom, like, I think I just want to go back home now. And, and it's like, so we'll get a call and it's been like an hour. And it's like, he wants to come home. And it's like, yeah, of course he does. You took him to McDonald's and bought him his toy.
Yeah. You know what? My favorite thing in the world now is, and I've done everything. I've been in front of the Pope. I've walked on the Tower of Pisa. I've surfed the North Shore of Hawaii. My greatest thrill is when my grandson sleeps in my bed.
Yeah.
When we snuggle and watch, and he has this thing where he likes to watch TV before his bed, but we watch YouTube. We watch rainstorms. So it's like this cabin in the woods, something like that, and it's rain. It's the sound of rain. But every time it happens, it's like, okay, Pop-Up, I'm ready to go to bed. I'll grab him, I'll snuggle him, and I say, thank you, God. And I say, remember this moment. Remember this moment, because it's like the happiest I ever am. It's just holding him falling asleep. Yourself? I tell myself, remember this moment.
You say anything to him?
I love you.
Yeah, right.
Pop-Up loves you. And forever. Every time he jumps up on me, I grab him, I say, I love you, I love you, I love you. And I say it like 50 times. I told you that because that's for tomorrow and the next day and the next day, because I don't want to see.
Yeah.
But the thing I always tell him is, I love you forever. I love you forever.
I'm getting that one next.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get it. I say I love you forever. And what's funny is he'll send us messages sometimes because he's got an iPad. When he's a good boy, he's allowed to use his iPad.
Right.
So he'll send us a message and goes, CC and Pop-Up, I love you forever. I love you. I love you. I love you. And I save those and I put them on my phone. I'm like, these are the moments that, whether I think I was successful in life or not, whether when I look back when I was in my 20s. And Cheryl and I just hit our 30th anniversary not long ago.
Shout out. Congratulations, sir.
And I asked her, I said, did you think 30 years ago, where did you think we would be 30 years from now? And both of us couldn't really answer that question.
So you had no, like, do you have a guess or nothing?
Yeah, because and a lot of it, I mean, a lot of it was when I met I married Cheryl.
What age were you?
I was 22.
So at 22 years old, what did you think you would be in 30 years?
Shit, I thought I'd be rich.
Right.
I thought I'd be, we'd be living, in this nice house on Hawaii Lower Ridge, and living the life, ballers. What every 22-year-old thinks about. What are you talking about? But I asked her, and I said, and she said, we really couldn't answer. And I thought, you know what? I don't remember exactly what I said, but I think I said something to the effect like, it's actually better than I thought it would be. Because there's a thing about when your children are young, you can actually go through a period of time where everything is excused. Not saying their behavior, I'm just saying, well, you didn't do this. You didn't achieve this. You didn't do that. Yeah, because I was busy raising my children. Because I was busy doing this. I was busy doing that. However, that's what life is about. That's where life comes in. You go, you know what? If I was a millionaire, if I was this or that, but I didn't have Lindsay, Chelsea, Sage, my grandchildren, it would be worthless. I wouldn't want it. Now, obviously, I wouldn't know about them. However, if you told me, guess what, Ben? You can either have this or you can have that.
Well, knowing what you know now.
Knowing what I know now.
Right.
Well, honestly, yeah, because
you know what you know that trajectory of how that would have played out.
Yeah.
Because you know what you've dealt with, right? So okay, well, I could have went that way, and I could have had none of this.
Right. I could have had none of this, or we could have gone this way. And I mean, now that we have grandchildren that live here, we're gonna die here. Yeah. That's kind of one of those things where you go, you know what? No, if you offer me a job to pay me $1 million, but I have to live 12 hours away from them, nope, I'm not taking it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take it. Because even if I don't see my grandchildren every day, the fact that I could jump in my car and go, hey, I want to see them, I want to take them.
Yeah. That
is worth more than anything. And the older you get, I'm 52 years old, the older you get, the more I believe the choice to spend time with those that you love becomes more important than, because I see people all the time go, God, I wish I could have done this with my children. I wish I could have. Or you find guys my age who marry women who are in their 20s. Oh, hell no. I tell Cheryl that every day. Every time I see a guy my age who's married somebody young that has young children.
That's that midlife shit. But dude, you get at the end of the day, you have to realize, like, what the fuck can you relate
and
to?
They start all over too sometimes, and it's like, at that point in my life, don't get me wrong, I love my son, but 4 is a wild fucking time. Mm-hmm. Dealing, like, you see these guys like dealing with 4 in like my late 40s, like, hell no, dude.
No, there's no way.
Yeah,
no way.
Yeah,
it's
yeah. But see, most of the guys that marry women like that are wealthy enough to have a nanny,
right?
Yeah, because nobody my age with my economic income is marrying a 20-year-old. Yeah. Okay, I'm just saying that. It has nothing to do with that. With my look, it's economics.
Yes, it's 1,000% money.
Yeah. But honestly, the when I look back, if I were to go back and I look back at my life and I think about, because I always think about, and I'm sure people do this, they think about, what if I had done this instead of that, I might be here.
Yeah.
I might be there. I might be here, and I think about that sometimes. I'll look back in my life and I'll think, you know what, if I had decided to do this instead of that, yeah, I might have been there, but would I value the things that I value today?
Well, here's what's different about today. 10 years ago, 20 years ago, it took so long to get somewhere. You can get somewhere so quick now.
Yeah.
Like, if you have an ambition, you can get there in probably an 1/8 or a 1/6 of the time than you could have 10 years ago.
That's true.
Whether it be learning,
whether resources available to you.
Yes, whether it be learning how to work on a car, learning how to play a guitar, learning the fucking law school. Like, dude, I'm telling you, like, you can fucking get there so quick. So it's like the same conversation can't be had now to where it's like you don't have enough time, dude. You can do a lot of shit.
I can't imagine how much better a drummer I would be. If I started learning,
YouTube?
Yeah, because I'm still learning on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, dude, that's how you do that, Phil? That's how you do the Steve Gadd, Phil?
Yeah, YouTube has changed the game, dude. Like, there's
it's
even
just
like household shit.
It's just it's a collective of everyone sharing. Like, here's the thing. Most of them are not professionals. It's just people figuring shit out and sharing it with other people, which is what we've done the entirety of our fucking civilization. But it's just at scale now. You know?
No, I mean, I think if I had moved to Italy and had the internet, I can't imagine how many more places I would have visited. Because there is actually a town, when I lived in Italy, there's a town about 15 minutes away from where I lived that is an ancient town. And it's so ancient that they never changed how they lived. And there's actually people still living in like caves and stuff like that. It's 15 minutes away from where I lived, and I never knew about it.
Yeah.
And had I known all these places were available when I lived there, I would have done so many more things, you know, because the scope of what the internet has brought. And like, I have a friend of mine who's him and his family are going to Italy, I think next week or something like that. And he's asking me, he's like, hey, we're going to be in Rome for these many days. You know, can we go to Venice? I'm like, well, Venice has got, I mean, Italy has very good railroads. You could probably go, but you might miss a couple things. And I told him, I said, but here's the deal. Do not put your wallet in your back pocket. Make sure your wife does not carry a purse. Make her carry a backpack. Put it in the front of her body. You know, do the thing, because there's pickpockets. There's a lot of pickpockets in Rome. But, you know, there's so much more knowledge that you can get before you go somewhere now than you could have ever done before. You know? So
somebody did the homework for you, which is nice. We're just, it's the convenience, man.
That's wild. I'm gonna go back to like you were talking about like the kid thing, because I think like for me personally, like I've battled with like two trains of thoughts. Like there's a thought where it's like my kids are never gonna be this age again. I'm never gonna get these moments back. You know, that like I need to prioritize them more. I need to be around them more. Which that's never a wrong way of thinking. You can't spend enough time with your kids.
Of course.
I think I read this thing one time that it said like by the time your kid turns 16, you've spent like 80% of the time you're ever going to spend with them, which is sad.
That breaks my heart. Yeah.
That's sad when you think about it. Like your kid's 16, you've spent 80%.
Well, we can ask him.
Yeah.
You would know, right? I mean, do you think that's accurate?
Well, actually, it depends on the parent. I mean, for me, it was higher because I thrived.
But not crazy higher, right?
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, it was probably
a couple points.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple points. But you're right. Yeah, because at some point in time, your son will not jump up into your arms anymore.
Right.
And and you don't realize it. It just, it goes from Thursday to Friday. And then 5 years later, you go, wait a minute. He doesn't jump in my arms anymore. He doesn't give me a kiss. He doesn't kiss me on the lips anymore and say, I love you, Daddy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, and there's that train of thought, and you know, and it's also like some people say, it's like when things happen and you never realize that was the last fucking. And I think to like when Zoe was little and we would like, I'd put her to bed or whatever, and she always wanted to do this fucking stupid, like I would spin her around or whatever, like a helicopter, and then she'd like put her in bed, and you know, and it's just like. One time that happened for the last time, and I didn't know that was the last time that was going to fucking happen, right? Yeah. And it's just like wild when you think about shit like that. But also, like, there's the other mindset of it, like, to where certain people, and I've talked to people this way, and people that I'm close to, where they're like, I built this empire, I've set my kids up for the most success, but they'll all tell you, they're like, I missed out on some shit.
Yeah.
I missed out on some shit. And it's like...
There's a fine line, dude. You can't... That's my wife and I talk about this now, and I'm like, look, I'm doing all this, but at the same time, I want to spend as much time. But then again, we're in a new chapter of life to where I think we can do both. You know what I'm saying? Like you can work remote, you know, and still be with them.
That's with me. It's like I've battled both trains of thoughts, and I've kind of tried to dial into this like certain thing where it's like at least Sundays, like unless we have like a burger special or something going on Sunday, like I'm not touching this place.
Yeah, how were the burrilla? Burgers.
The best burger we've ever done.
I would have been here, but my grandson had
like record?
Had a tournament.
Yeah, record. Like we
sweet, dude. I was not here. I wanted to fucking eat that.
I wanted to come so bad. I wanted to come so bad.
Like the most of a special.
I wasn't here either.
I think
God damn it.
I think pork and fork. We did like when we did that. We did like close to 70.
Yeah, it's not even half.
Yeah,
like,
and then when we did the pastrami, it was like it was like 75 or something.
Yeah.
But this one, it was just like, I was like, oh shit, it keeps just fucking.
But
70.
my grandson had a baseball tournament, so I couldn't be here. But I wanted to. I told Cheryl, I was like,
you gotta do it again, bro.
Go ahead,
and,
so, but
we're
continue,
gonna do a couple other, like I want to do it like once a month, like special burgers. But yeah, I mean, I've just kind of dialed into where like on Sundays and then like Monday nights, that's like I'm not, like I come. Luckily now I'm in a position where I am off. So like Mondays.
Isn't it so fucking surreal?
Nice.
Yeah.
Dude, no, it's so fucking surreal. We were having this conversation a year ago, and you weren't ready to take the fucking plunge, dude. Dude, I love it, dude. I fucking love it for you.
No,
I'm
thank
so
you.
excited.
No,
You too, motherfucker. Like, I love it for y'all. Like,
Yeah, and
it's so surreal.
I'll say this, like I've told Colby and Sam too, like, because I'm the only one, you know, just diving into our business. Like I'm the only one that takes the salary. Colby and Sam do not take the salary. I didn't before this, and don't get me wrong, I took a pay cut, right? But at the end of the day, like I tell them all the time, I was like, y'all gave me a gift that like I can never.
You can't put a
repay.
price on it. I
Because
agree.
my Mondays were literally I would go to work, I would go home, work on payroll, work on schedules, do this, and so my Monday was I dreaded Mondays like no other. Now it's like, bruh, like I go into the office at Linwood, like I work on payroll, I work on schedules, I do all that shit. By 2 or 3 o'clock, like I'm ready to go pick up Christian and like fucking go home. And like Monday nights are like our night where like I take the family out to eat.
How long have we been doing this show with Jose? I know you and I did it for like a good year before.
You know, you and I did one episode,
and then Jose came on.
and then Jose came.
Okay, so we've been doing
We were over at the.
So we've been-
This is pre-COVID.
Right. So the first one we had with both Josh.
Dude, he's probably
Probably down at 7 the tap drinking, bro.
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Text him and tell him to come up here. You look it up while we're talking. But what I'm saying is, dude, I'm just so happy for y'all because, dude, we've been talking about it, and I fuck with y'all every episode. I'm like, hey, dude, you got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it. But you finally did it, dude.
Yeah.
And like now you can sit back in a year and just say, why didn't I do this sooner, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what I do.
Our first episode was 4 years ago.
4 years, bro.
Damn. 4
years ago.
So a good 3 years,
Yeah.
we were like, bro,
Yeah.
you got to do your own thing.
Right.
You got to do your own thing.
But the world how much has the world itself changed in
It's
the
a
last
lot,
so-
a lot.
I'll say this too, and I'll put you on the list. I know y'all don't drink beer, but it'd be cool if y'all could come out.
I'll drink beer. I'll drink one or two.
Drink
June
anything you get it
7th.
for free, right?
Yeah, June 7th is the 4-year anniversary of 7th Tap.
June 7th. Our thing is on the 16th, right?
Which thing?
The Minden thing.
The 13th and 14th. June 7th, I will be in Florida, but Ben will be there.
I'll be here.
You gotta come try the barbecue.
I'm gonna try to get master tickets in June.
What do you
so-
have?
There's a guy named, his name's Tab Singleton. He owns a place in Idabel, Oklahoma called Fat Tabs.
Idabel.
Dude.
That's where my family lives up there.
Dude, so it's like,
It's
like
the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, like right before Broken Bow or
Yep.
whatever. So I was driving, and I always like just fucking pull up like Yelp or Google or something. I'm like, let me see what's around here, just because you find gyms sometimes,
Yeah.
right? So I saw this place called Fat Tabs Barbecue, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, fucking middle of
Try it
Oklahoma, whatever. Like I hit it, and I see these pictures, and I see this fucking most beautiful brisket you ever fucking seen. And I'm like, there's no fucking
Got him.
I was like, there's no fucking way that this is happening in Oklahoma, right? Or especially in Idabel, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And so, like, I was like, Leanne, we gotta go. We gotta go to this place. So I go in there. It's like this little hole in the wall. I walk in, and I just said, like, give me everything, dude. And I got, like, brisket. Dude makes his own bologna. All this other stuff. Like, and I got this spread, dude. And I'm telling you, everything was, like I texted Andrew at Bad Wolf, and I texted, Brian at Sunbird. And I'm like, there's this fucking place in Idabel, Oklahoma. And I told Andrew, I was like, look, dude, like, to me, your brisket is
king.
It's the king, right? But I said, I think this guy can give you a run, dude. And then I said, not that I'm hating, I'm just saying, like, this dude is that good. And so I'm like, I gotta, like, meet this guy, right? So, like, I go back there, and it's literally just two dudes, and it's just, like, these big dudes, and it's him and his nephew, and his name is Tab. So I start talking to him, and I was like, man, dude, this is the best barbecue I ever had. And I've traveled all over Texas looking for the best barbecue. And he's like, yeah, man. He's like, where are you from? And I was like, from Louisiana. He's like, well, I got ties to Louisiana. And I'm like, really? And So it turns out, I mean, he's no ordinary guy. Like he had worked for Emerald, actual like.
Okay,
yeah, and he's like, and he was like, I moved to New Orleans. I worked for Emerald. I was a chef.
Okay.
The barbecue was always my love. And
changed the game.
Yeah, and he said when COVID happened, I moved back to Oklahoma and started my little barbecue joint that I always dreamed of because I had no other means of like surviving due to COVID and everything being closed down. And I was like, oh, that's cool, man. So we kind of formed like a little, relationship or whatever. And I asked him, I was like, would you ever be willing to come to Louisiana? And he's like, yeah, I would. And so I hit him up for the 4th anniversary.
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's
gonna be at Linwood.
Yeah. And
Okay,
you gotta go.
I'll put it in my contract.
You gotta go, but you have to come judge Grilling on Main.
Okay, that's the minute.
The 14th. Yeah.
14th.
14th.
I got it on my
June
calendar.
14th.
And one thing I want to say too, when you talk about like kids and everything like that, vacations. Okay. When our children were younger, my youngest daughter, Lindsay, used to always do a dance competition, right? She would do these dance competitions and we would go to Hot Springs. She would just think Hot Springs. So every year we'd go to Hot Springs, right? And we'd make like a family vacation out of it. And when she stopped dancing, we stopped doing that. We stopped doing those vacations. And when your children get to a certain age, they don't want to go on vacation with you anymore. Okay.
Nope.
When they become grown adults with children, they want to do their own vacation. Okay. However, you still want to be with them on vacation because you love your children, you love grandchildren. So there's a big thing between going, okay, is this their vacation or is this our vacation?
Yeah.
Because when you get to a certain age, Cheryl and I have not been on a vacation since when? 2016? 2022?
No, but you're on vacation.
Like, when was the last time we went on a vacation? Period. Any vacation?
We went to Disney with the kids.
Yeah, 5 years ago?
22.
So 3 years ago. Okay. So, and like people were talking about vacation this year and Cheryl and I are like, vacation? What the hell is that? We're not going to, we have no plans to go on a vacation. You know?
What I've noticed is as I've gotten to where I'm at now, like I like to bring my parents on vacation. So I just try to work that in and pay for it.
Shit.
But no, I'm for real.
Yeah,
I'm for real.
that's awesome.
Dude, I that's where I've gotten. Well, my dad
Here
anyways.
with me, it's not about money. It's me. It's about, I just want to, I want to see them enjoy their time.
Here's the thing. Growing up, I didn't get vacations.
God
I
bless
had
you.
one vacation my entire life. Like growing up. One.
Yeah.
So now it's
didn't
like,
do that either.
now it's like, hey, we're going here. I'm going to take y'all.
Yeah.
And you do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Right.
And at the same time, if you want to watch the kids while we go out to dinner, don't feel obligated, but
here's-
also you got a
okay.
free vacation.
Okay, here's the thing too, and here's kind of like the two-edged sword with me, and this is maybe, I don't know if it's a Mexican thing, I don't know what it is, but my dad was in the military, okay, so my parents lived all over the world. Well, it came to a point in time when I had children, I was like, look, I have 3 children, which means there's 5 of us, okay? You can either come see us,
Yeah.
because you're just 2 people,
Yeah.
or I can pack up my 5 people, fly them something to go see you. So to me, I'm like, the onus is on you to come see
Right.
us if you want to see us, right?
Right.
Right? Because it's financially easier
Yeah.
for you. Well, as a Mexican family, I don't know, some people take offense to that. They go, well, you should come see us because we're, well, you know what? I have a family. When I married my wife, we two become one. We be blah, blah, blah. If you want to come see us, you're welcome anytime. Okay? So don't get mad that we don't go every Christmas to fly my 5
Yeah, no
5
shit.
family.
My $2,000 trip.
Exactly.
Shit.
Yeah, 2,000 plus to
Yeah.
come see you. So to me, it's like, if you want to see your grandchildren, come see them, which is one of the reasons why I'm like, I'm not going anywhere because I want to see my, I love my
Yeah.
grandchildren. I want to see them every day. If I can, I like the opportunity to do it. So I'm not going to do it. But there's a lot of, well, you should come see us. Okay, which is easier? Is it easier for you to come see us or us to all pack up and come see you?
Yeah, for sure.
You know? And as far as a vacation goes, if you're a grandparent and you're invited, go.
Shit. That's what
And to me, it's like, oh, really?
Well,
you want me to watch your grandkids?
Well, it
You
happened.
want to watch your kids?
Look,
I'll do it.
dude.
all day
It
long.
happened. What happened with previously with my wife's parents, and they were like, "Well, this is our vacation too," and I was like, "Well, we're gonna mitigate this now." I'm paying for the vacation, so if you want to come, you can. But if we want to go somewhere and you want to watch the kids, you can't play that card on me. But at the same time, it's happened to where like I invited my dad and them, and they were like, "Man, we can't financially do it this year."
Right.
And I was like, "Dude, I wish they would have been there."
Yeah.
So this year, I was like, we laid it out. And I said, "This is the date. You don't have to pay for anything. We're making it happen."
Well, that's awesome.
And it's like, for me, it's like, dude, like, why not? Fuck it. Because I know they couldn't give that to me at that age, right? You know, and they still couldn't even give that. And every vacation leading up to this year has been about them having to do it for their kids.
Right.
Now they can just come. They don't have to worry about shit. They don't have to balance the fucking checkbook. They can just come and hang out. And if they want to go spend some money, they can. But if not, it's just gas to get there. You know what I mean?
Well,
and,
for me, one of the greatest things is on my computer, when we went to Disney, it was all of us. And all the time when I'm watching, I'll like my screensaver is our vacation, right? And every time I'm like, "Aw," and I'll take pictures of my computer screen and send them to all my children to go, "Aw," you know. It's like there was the memories that we made together. Me, like one day, we were leaving Magic Kingdom, and I was holding Hunter, and he's got his head on my shoulders, and he's just like happy, he's content, and I'm like, that's one of my favorite pictures in the world. You know, me standing next to him and his dad, and we're looking at the fireworks. You know, those things to me, even if we never go on a vacation again, if we never go, the fact that I had that I can remember each one of those emotions, not but the emotion that I felt during that is what I strive for.
Yeah,
it's the things that I will work for, you know, to have those types of things. And I'm very grateful we had those opportunities. But then also, you know, when you have children, they go off on their own path. They have their own thing. And it takes a lot for a person to go, like, you know, you said your mom, and you're like, no, it takes a lot for you to go, I'm gonna let you raise your kids. I'm gonna let you, because that's important. Because when you were a parent, that's the only thing you wanted from your parents was for them to let you raise your fucking kids.
Yeah, leave the fuck alone.
Leave the fuck alone. So you know, I don't know if it's a generational thing or what, but we always, like, I'll always ask Cheryl, should I say this? She goes, no, don't. You know, because we realize they're not our children. We think of them as our children because they're our children's children, but we go, okay, when we die, because we're gonna die, we all die, that's who's gonna be left as your thing. So all you want to do is make sure that every moment that your grandchildren spent with you was a happy moment.
Yeah,
you know. So.
Yeah. Well, I want to hear about a couple more things before we wrap this thing up. Okay. One, your weight loss journey, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Slim.
Because you're down a whole shirt size. So tell me what's going on.
Nothing, dude. I'll say this too. Let me clarify. There's no Ozempic or none of that.
Well,
shit.
that was my next question.
No.
It's tequila and tacos.
It's honestly just making like conscious decisions about the stuff that I like. Honestly, like
did you stress eat before? Like when you worked 2 jobs, did you stress eat a lot?
I did, because every meal was on the run, and every meal was the worst shit I could get. Like I was literally leaving the East Bank at like 11 o'clock after we closed, and my first stop was Whataburger. Yeah. And you do that shit 4 nights a week, like it's gonna catch up.
That's fucking 8,000 calories.
Yeah, you know, and I was like, that shit's gonna catch up. So now it's more of like a, you know, and it's also like some fasting. Like I kind of have a window of where I eat.
So you're doing intermittent fasting?
So I do like 12 to 7, or noon to 7 is when I eat.
That's good.
Yeah, like I get all my calorie intake.
When did you start doing that?
Shit, it's been like what, 7-8 months now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like I cut out breakfast. And just cutting out certain things. Like honestly, like sometimes I would come up there and I would have like 2 or 3 beers, and 2 or 3 beers isn't gonna do shit to you. Like for me, you know, like.
Right. Not as far as like giving you
a buzz,
any buzz,
getting drunk or whatever, but it was just like a habit thing, and it's like, why the fuck am I coming up here every day and having 2 or 3 beers? Like that's not a. So cut that out.
Fucked up. We're not doing it.
Yeah. It's like cut that out. Like, you know, just like honestly, I can't think of the last time I've eaten fast food. Like
well, congratulations, sir.
Yeah, and I used to do that, but I still like if I go to, like, if we go to San Miguel or we go to Key or we go to wherever, like I'm still gonna order the shit.
But do you notice that food tastes salty or it tastes?
No, I mean I still love food more than ever, you know. But it's more of like, hey, like I don't need to, like it's fucking 10 o'clock at night. You don't like, because I remember like Zoe would, even when I wasn't up there, like Zoe, like you know, her metabolism's a million. So her and the other little girls,
I miss those days.
Yeah, no, all them when they get off,
stay eating, bro.
Yeah, when they get off, they go, like all the girls there, like they get off and they'll go to Cane's or they'll go to Taco Bell, like all of them. And Zoe's like, I think, you know, no fault of hers, but like to me, it just like became a habit. Like, yeah, I want to eat too, you know. Like, and she would text me and she's like, "We're at Taco Bell. You want me to bring you home something? Yeah, grab me a number. You know, we're at Cane's. You want like, yeah, grab me whatever." And now it's like, nah, don't. Yeah, like
that's
I'm
what's
fine.
up, dude.
Because when you wake up the next morning, you don't feel like you did the day before.
Yeah. So it's honestly, like I've said, like it's just conscious decisions on like what I'm eating, what I'm doing. But like I said, I'm not holding back. Like when I am eating, like I'm not going to Whataburger or some shit like that. But
but you
like,
still made a significant difference.
But if we go to like restaurants or stuff, like I'm still gonna eat what the fuck I want to eat.
But it's a significant difference for sure.
Yeah.
Do you feel healthier?
I feel better.
You feel better?
Yeah, I feel like it's been again, and it goes back to like, I think like when I quit my job a while back, it's like it kind of empowered me to like, I'm gonna become the best version of myself or like the person that I've always wanted to be. And I'm not there yet. I'm nowhere near it. But at the same time, like I'm allowing myself to like do the things that I want to do.
So who is the best person you want to be?
I don't.
I'll tell you when I get there, right?
Yeah, I'll tell you when I get there. I don't know, but I think we're headed in the right direction.
I'm so proud of you, man.
Dude.
That's so awesome.
That's what's up.
That's so
but yeah,
good.
no injections or none of that. I'm just.
Well, that's good to hear because
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna talk shit, but I just was wondering because you said something earlier and you're down like and I haven't. It's so funny because we literally work in close proximity of each other, but I don't see you because we just like I might see you in passing. We've said that before, but like fuck, we're busy.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen either one of you since the last episode.
Yeah.
We
Seriously,
know.
we haven't.
Where have you been, bro?
I have not. We have not.
Because we was trying to look some stuff up.
I haven't seen you. Like you and I have texted, and we've texted,
Right.
but we actually haven't physically seen each other. I mean, I brought you that painting back, but like we haven't seen each other, so
Yeah.
it's kind of a weird thing.
No, it was barbecue. Then we had a tequila talk.
Well, I saw you guys. Yeah, no, wait. I did see you guys at the barbecue thing.
EDM.
Yeah, but that was like the only time I remember.
Dude,
But you were busy doing
I had
shit.
a fucking time at that one, dude. I'm gonna be honest, like, dude, it was wild because I'll say this to you, dude. There was one comedian at the table, dude, right?
Yeah.
And I love Chris. I love Chris to death, but I'm like, bruh, the material that is going out from everybody except for you right now is fucking. Dude, like, what's his name? Patrick, dude?
Patrick Netherton.
Dude, he's hilarious.
I was fucking
He's hilarious.
dying. And then, like, I remember, like, me and Ben and Colby were joking about shit, dude. And it was just like...
And Chris
and
is just over there.
I'm like, Chris, dude, you need to write some of this shit down, dude, because we are spitting some stuff over here. And it was just...
Man.
Like, I told Colby that, and I was like, dude, I had so much fucking fun just doing that.
Dude, the judging stuff is so fun in barbecue, man. It's so fun. Well, in India, you've done y'all done the jambalaya now. You've done the barbecue. You've done the steak.
Yeah.
Like, we got some more stuff coming up, but yeah, I definitely want you in on Grilling on Main. I want Colby in on it. I'll bring in Patrick as well.
Yeah.
And you're already in on it. And we got a lot of celebrity judges over there. But we're looking at 40 teams.
Nice.
Really?
It's a huge fucking event.
That's how big it gets?
Dude.
I didn't know that.
Dude.
Yeah, I'm down.
It's double what this was.
I'm down.
Yeah, and then Josh is going to run with the Pork and Fork trailer and fucking sling some Cubanos.
Have you had the Cubano at the other 7 Tap? Good?
He's making a...
I do like it. We're doing it with pulled pork and bacon, though.
Yeah, he's going to make one, and he's going to sling it out of the trailer while we're down there running shit. But I want to talk about this new endeavor, too. So, come on. Can we? Somewhat? No?
I know some people who have established a new business.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be amazing for this area.
Okay.
Because most of the time you have to go to Dallas
Yep.
or further out to
New
enjoy something.
Orleans.
Yeah, because when I was in the golf business, there was, this goes back to when I lived in Hawaii. Okay, when I lived in Hawaii, I lived on Hickam, which is a military base. And they had a 9-hole par 3. I used to pay $7 to play 9 holes, and it was lit. Okay, And actually Hickam had Hickam had 2 golf courses on it, and most military bases have their own golf courses on Hawaii. It's amazing, but there is a gentleman named John Dudley who is the CEO of a company called Chasing Aces, and they built this amazing facility that's going to have these great opportunities, and you don't even have to be a golfer. It's if you like entertainment. It's not even like some people go, oh, I've been to Topgolf. This is not Topgolf, okay? This is like a whole experience where you can go with your friends. You can hit golf balls, even if you've never hit golf balls, but you're like, I would like to golf, but I really don't want to spend 4 hours on a golf course.
Yeah.
This is your opportunity to go and have some fun, okay? You have your own private bay. It's almost like bowling. Remember back in the day when you went with your friends, you went bowling and you all like had your own little type of bay thing and thing. It's like that, but this is all advanced technology. It's all when you watch a PGA tournament and you see a golf track, you see the tracking of the golf ball. Same type of thing. This is a great opportunity, I think, for golf tournaments, because I can't tell you how many golf tournaments I've been to that got rained out. Something happened. I can't tell you how many golf tournaments I've been to where I've had on my team a PGA touring pro, a PGA teaching pro, a PGA pro, and myself, and we came in third.
Damn.
Okay? Which means that either somebody's cheating or
more than likely.
And I totally understand. Like if it's
the weird thing about the tournaments is the honor system is
the honor system is
super skewed.
But here's the thing: if it is a charity event, if they're trying to raise money, they can sell these lengths of string, so you can buy for every $10 you get 10 feet. Well, I'm going to pay $500 and I'm just going to get me this close to the hole, which means my first shot's going to be a hole in one.
Yeah.
Okay. Which I totally get because it's a charity event. However, and I've always thought that every golf tournament, the top 2 teams should play the last 2 holes again and watch, and everybody get to see them play, because if you said you got a 53 on a 72 par course and you can't even hit the fairway, you lied. Okay. So, but the thing about this is, let's say for example you were trying to raise money for something, okay, and you had a golf tournament. Most of the times you'd have to actually physically go out to each hole and talk to everybody or wait till they come in. This is a series of bays, okay? You could physically really go and just talk to every single person that's in that golf tournament while they're there. Have a good time and talk to them, have a good,
get a drink.
Share things, have a drink, things like that. And if it's raining, guess what? It doesn't matter. You're covered, okay? You don't have to worry about golf carts or signing or having, all these things that go along with tournaments. But also, they have a 9-hole par 3 that's lit, and it's all artificial turf, which I have no problem with artificial turf. It doesn't bother me at all. But there's also an 18-hole putting green. It's not a putt-putt. It's actually a putting course. And I've been to the PGA in Frisco, the PGA headquarters, which is amazing. And they have 2 18-hole putting courses, which basically you can play 18 holes and putt, And they also are going to have food and entertainment. They have these giant screens. I think it's something that this area has needed for a very long time. And I'm very excited for it because they're open till 1 o'clock in the morning. So if you're like, you know what, after work, I can't play golf.
You go shoot 9 holes after work.
You can go play 9 holes after work.
Yeah.
You can play it. You play 9 holes. You can shoot it. And the people that are working there are professionals. You have the general manager of that location is the same guy who was a GM at Palmetto, who was the GM at Stonebridge and Old Oaks, and now he's a GM there. Okay, you've got people who.
How'd you get wrapped up in this?
Because I've been wanting to get back in the golf business for a long time.
Did you say, hey, what's up? Or did they reach out to you?
It was an idea I had a long time ago, but also I'm always talking to the people who are in the golf business, and I played golf with a friend of mine a while back. He's like, hey, and I said, wait a minute. I thought this person was in charge of that. They go, oh no, they're going to be the new GM at this. Wow. So I sent a message, hey, I said, this sounds like a great thing. How can I help? And so I think, and you definitely need to have John Dudley on at some point in time.
And you've made friends with Mike, who's a really good friend with me. But here's what's crazy about all this is that shirt you have on. I'm looking at you saying this. That business started on a golf course.
Yeah,
that business started with, you remember that?
I remember
me and Brian Meeker, like cooking barbecue for a golf tournament.
Right, and I can't tell
and
you.
I don't know shit about golf, but I know how to cook barbecue on golf tournament.
I got to tell you, did I talk about this before when we first started about people who know me?
No.
Why they know me?
Don't
Because
think so.
I met somebody, and I actually met Mr. Dudley, and he's like, "Where do I know you from?" And I'm like, I used to work in golf. I did the stuff. He's like, Bojack's. I go, well, not Bojack said, but I do a podcast with DJ Thomas. He goes, "You're the tequila guy."
That was before we come on. Yeah,
I can't tell you. Maybe people tell me you're the tequila guy, and I'm like, well, that's better than being you're the cops guy.
Yeah.
You know. but I think, and you're gonna have beer there, correct?
There, yeah.
And,
shout out.
Yeah, well, there's like I said, there's a connection between.
Yeah, but
you know,
and what's good for one, and here's the thing: a high tide raises all boats.
What here's great too is it's in our backyard, bro.
Dude,
thank you.
And honestly, like I talked to Bo about all that stuff,
Yeah.
and like, shout out to like everybody in this area,
Dude,
like
it's
recognizing the value of what other businesses can bring to this area.
It's so surreal, man.
Because you know, even like they say, oh, they're gonna take from us. No, they're not.
No,
they're not. People are.
They're gonna give to us.
They're gonna go out there and they're gonna go to fucking play, and then they're gonna be like, hey, we've been drinking a little bit. Where should we go?
We want to go listen to a band right here.
Yeah, we're right here. Baby.
No, they're going to give to us. We're going to give to them. That's what
exactly.
what happens.
And they're going to have a teaching academy there, and they also have a batting. Like a batting cage. It's not a batting cage. It's really cool because I actually saw it. It's a 3D screen, and the ball comes up almost like a T-ball, but it pops up out of the air, and you hit it, and then it goes to certain things. But they have, for example, let's say that you were wanting to go play the par 3, okay, and they give you a set of clubs that you like, and guess what? Oh wow, I love these clubs. These clubs feel great. We can send them to your house. What's your address? We'll send them to your house. If you're a guest at let's say for example you're a guest at what's Margaritaville, right? And you go play it. Well, guess what? Where would you like them sent? I love these clubs.
Ship them.
Yeah, my irons don't hit like my wedges don't hit like this at all. And the main thing about it is it's not golf. It's an experience. Because as much as we all do, we're willing to pay for experiences.
It's good.
Okay. You were willing to pay for experience to go to Mexico,
Yeah.
I'm willing to pay, whatever it costs to take my grandchildren to Florida or whatever, because I want them to have experience, but I want to see them have that experience as well, But in our area, if you are not good at golf, you really don't want to go to one of the public courses because they're always full, because we only have 2. In all honesty, we only have 2, okay? If you're a good player, you join a private club. You join like East Ridge or Southern Trace, something like that, and your friends don't want to go play there because I'm not that good. Well, guess what? Here, you have the opportunity to just go play. You have some drinks. They have a huge menu. They'll bring it to where you're sitting. You don't gotta. Somebody comes. What can I get for you? I want this. I want that. I want this. Boom. You and your buddies, you have a good time. You have games. You can watch it. If you say, you know what, on here we want. They have all these monitors. So you say, guess what? Right here, I want. I want our things, but the Lakers are playing the Pistons right now. Can you put that on? Yeah, absolutely. Boom. You put it on there. It's an experience. It's something that our area doesn't have. Unless they come to your bar or something like that. But again, they're not pulling guests away from you. They're actually increasing the amount of people who participate in experiences in this area.
Yeah.
Which I think is an amazing thing.
I like it. I got another question. When is our tequila barrel beer
I don't know.
coming, bro?
I need to get some. I've been telling Sam we need to just barrel broke about like 10 of them. But
I've been asking for 2 years, bro. I'm gonna keep asking. I'm gonna ask every episode.
You've been asking for 3 years, for 4 years.
3 years or 3?
4 years. We think we talked about it on the first episode.
Yeah. No, I'm ready. Yeah. Well, look, guys, we can wrap it. Anything else you want to throw out before we get out of it?
No, thank you, man. I think I like what we do here. And again, like last time I was like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I can't do this anymore because the last episode was just too much for me. But honestly, I think I like what's happening in this area, and I never thought that joining a business referral group would lead to everything that you and I have done, the relationships we've made, the amount of people who know who I am just because I'm related to you or I participate in things that you do. And I think that our area is starting to come to the modern age, you know, with like things that you do, you know, people are starting to go, okay, we don't have to go to Dallas.
We're waking up, man. And he's been one of the pioneers for that because, I mean, dude, like.
Yeah. And I'm so blessed to be a part of just the friends. Yeah. Just so blessed to be friends with you and you. And I greatly appreciate it. I thank you so much for the opportunity to drink tequila with you. And I look forward to future episodes.
I think we know our winner, man. But
who's our winner?
Who wants to call it?
Go ahead.
That's it.
Yeah. Now, a question.
Let's say it though. Let's say it.
Wait. Paladino. Paladar. But question: is it our winner because we didn't expect it, or is it our winner because I think it was the best?
I think it's our winner because it's so unique and just that is the most unique tasting reposado I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
And not only that, it's just it keeps getting better.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I agree. No, I agree. I had another little shot of it, and it was much better.
All right. That's a wrap, fellas.
Thank you.